Hey, that was short and sweet.
Good evening, good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to NUFC Talk, the early late night show with me, Borky, the mighty Win, and Toon Tina. How are you guys this evening, Tina?
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for asking. How are you?
I'm really good. And you, Win?
I'm not so good, not so good. Obviously, after the weekend, I keep on saying, I'm all bubbles after a win, all desperation after a lose.
Well, let's hope your mood's improved by Thursday, mate. Well,
It
that's what we
will
need.
be. I am confident it will be.
Lovely. Before we get started, can I ask you all to whack the like button, subscribe if you're new around here, and if you can, please become a member for a small monthly fee. We love your chats, and we'll try to read out as many as possible. However, the only way we can guarantee your chat to be read is by you guys making it a super chat. Please remember, we're now on DAB radio across the Newcastle area, so please don't put any swear words or things in the chat because unfortunately we cannot read those out. Us guys in the panel normally build the team on here before a game, but tonight I want to try something a little bit different. While the leader Gary's away, Borky will play. So I want you guys to pick the team for tomorrow. We'll start with Howe's 4-4-3-3, which I'm sure he'll play, and make our way through the team during the show. So let's start with goalkeepers. Would it be Pope or Ramsey for you guys? So in the chat, all you have to
Or
put is
even
Pope or
Ramsdale.
Ramsey. Ramsey would be a hell of a choice.
Be an
Pope or
interesting one.
Ramsdale, yep. Tina's going to keep tally of who comes through. She didn't know this, but she is. And obviously,
Okay.
and obviously,
All right,
we'll go off your predictions. So, Man United tomorrow night, guys. What's your first thoughts on this, Tina?
I mean, Manchester United have had a massive one of massive uptick in form recently, haven't they? So I think it's a little bit more worrying than you would normally be earlier on in the season against them when they looked like the wheels had fallen off the Manchester United bandwagon. But they're on a really good run of form. They're looking focused. They're looking really good. They're looking energetic. So, but I mean, on the flip side of that, I've got to be me. I mean, it's at St James's Park. We need to turn this around after. We need to bounce back from the Everton game. So what better way than pulling it out against a team that we know is in form, that we know is going to come at us, that we know is going to attack and take advantage of that and hopefully, smash a few goals past them.
Yeah, 100%. And what's your thoughts, Wayne, on tomorrow night?
Well, do you want some lovely factoids?
Go on, then, mate. We'll all love your factoids. Tina, get your pillar ready.
Get your pillar ready. The factoids are coming. Newcastle have won their last 3 Premiership games against Man United.
Woohoo!
As many as their previous 18 combined prior to those victories. And the last had a longer home league winning run against the Red Devils. Guess when?
5 years ago. No, that was a stupid answer. Ask Borky. I've let myself write down already.
I'm guessing maybe it's the 50s.
1915 to 1931 when we won 10 on the trot against them. So since 1931, we've never ever won 3 against them before. But we have now anyway. However, Man United are looking to record their first Premier League double over Newcastle. Since when?
1997.
No, I'm guessing under Bruce, maybe it's 2020.
2021, spot on, book, yeah.
I'm going to sit out these questions. I'm not covering myself in glory here.
Boxing Day, Dogu. And against Man United, you'll not like this one, Borky, 36% of every win we've had against Man United in the history of the Football League has come under, who would you believe?
Eddie Howe and Jason Tyndall.
Eddie Howe. He's responsible for beating Man U on a regular basis.
Can we just say, though, as a caveat to that, are Man United the team they were when Egan was in charge, when Bobby Robson was in charge?
Well, the main thing about that is when Ferguson was in charge.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I
Matt
don't think
Busby back in
any
the
team
day.
is quite as big as Manchester were at that time. I mean, they were legitimately the biggest team in the world at that time, weren't they? Like that was they were kind of the standard bearers.
But
100%.
this is pretty impressive. A pretty impressive stat coming up here. Under the lights at St James's Park, how many games have Newcastle won?
Well, I'm guessing there hasn't been many, so I'm guessing it's not a huge percentage of games. I'm thinking maybe's 100%. I can't remember we were particularly losing games at against them.
18 out of 20.
Yeah.
We've won under the lights at the park. So
That's a good start.
We lost against West Ham, that horrible game, if you remember it, last season, and Liverpool this season. Other than that, we've won every game under the lights.
That's it. We're winning it, guaranteed.
Midweek game at St James's Park.
I've got to ask, was I here? Was I? Why you're not happy, mate? Put it in the chat and let me know. I'm guessing it's with me because you've told me.
Oh, by the way, I must give a shout out to Kenny218, who became a member today. Thank you very much, Kenny.
Get in there, Kenny.
We didn't see the notification until after the presser this morning. So he became a member this morning. Thank you very much, Kenny218.
That's great because Kenny's my biggest fan.
Well, actually, he doesn't like much of what I say either, but that's by the way.
Well, let's hope I can say something to keep him happy with being a member of the channel, then.
So, have you got any more facts there, Win, or is that your factoids out?
I've got a few nice ones coming up. Who do you think has recovered more points than anyone else in the Premier League this season from losing positions?
Well, definitely not us. I was going to say Man U.
Man U.
As we're playing them, you've made this pretty easy.
Yeah, even I got that one win.
9 points from losing positions this season. That's more than any other team in the Premier League. And Man United have lost only one of their last 11 away games in the Premier League. That was at Aston Villa in December. Prior to that, they'd only won one of their previous 11. So something is on the turn without a doubt there. Could it be something to do with a transfer window? Well, maybe just. We'll come on to that later, I am sure.
Well, I mean, I think Manchester United's upturn in form was when they got Michael Carrick in, really, wasn't it?
We might not have time to come on anything. We might not have time to come on to anything as long as these stats are taken. But
that actually started before that. But Anthony Gordon, him who is taking a lot of stick nowadays, and probably rightfully so, because he's scored just 3 Premier League goals from 38 shots. That's only an 8% conversion rate, compared to 11 goals in 28 shots. 11 goals in 38 shots, across all competitions. So his conversion rate in the Prem is 8%, whereas it's 29% in other competitions. What does this prove? Does it prove that the Premier League is tougher than the Champions League? That's personally what I believe. Or does it mean that Anthony Gordon just raises his game for European games and cup games. Discuss.
Go on, Tina, I'll let you go first.
I mean, I think first of all we've seen how how much quality there is in the Premier League, just purely from the fact that all of the Premier League teams that were in the competition made it through to the last 16 of the competition. In regards to Anthony Gordon's conversion rate, I mean, neither of those stats are particularly great. I don't think he started great in the Champions League. That still to this day, every time I close my eyes, I still see that ball in from the right from Anthony Elanga, and Gordon absolutely whiffing it, and just not hitting anything, just hitting fresh air. And we went on to lose that game against Barcelona. So that's always in the back of my head. But then he did really start to pick up. He got a lot better with his performances once he started performing well in Europe. And the form, to be fair, his form hasn't carried over to the Premier League yet, but he's certainly been a little bit more feisty, a little bit more animated. He's started trying to cheer people up. He's brought the pressing back into his game. Whether that's worth it if nobody else is pressing or not is a question. But yeah, I mean, it's the Premier League. I think we know you're more likely to have teams shut up shop in the Premier League. You've got some fantastic defenses in the Premier League, and I think that's where he kind of drops off. People are kind of a little bit more used to him, but at the same time, I think it's natural for a player like Anthony Gordon to be a little bit more motivated for the Champions League games, because you've got the atmosphere, you've got the fact that it's on the European stage in the Champions League where every player wants to play, and you get that Champions League music to gyre you up. I think it's much easier to get motivated for European nights.
I absolutely hate that response. In regards to that, if you need Champions League football to get you up, if you need the lights on, if you need the fans to get behind you as a football player, being paid as much as Anthony Gordon is to do his job, a good footballer does it against any team. They do it against, they do it against the likes of they do the same as they do against Barcelona as they would against the likes of Burnley, saying that he has to have a big game to get up for it, in which case he's no good for it.
I mean,
It's
that's
absolutely
like
pointless. You've got to have the bread and butter player there who can do it every game. If he needs to get be brought up by the players, by the fans, sorry, and by the atmosphere, he's no good. He's pointless. Heaven, a good player plays well in every game.
let me
And
answer
I
that.
actually agree with you, Bogey, there. But what I
Hold on, let
don't
me.
what I don't agree with is that is the reason for the difference in statistics. I think the difference for the reason is the fact that the Premier League is so much tougher than the Champions League.
And that
I
very
don't think
well
it,
might be the case.
I don't think it's necessarily to do with any motivation or anything.
So,
I think
so in
it's
which case, are you guys now saying that we're not lucky to get through to the Champions League games last 16? We've got there because the Champions League isn't that big a deal now. It's not as big a competition as it was a few years ago.
well,
They're allowing the
It's
teams
still a
like
big deal.
Newcastle to get to the last 16.
no, the Champions League is like the Premier League. You've got your elite clubs who are going to get through, which they have all done, and then you've got the rest. And the Premier League, without doubt, is the best of the rest. So, as Tina's just said, we've got everybody going through, and Germany have got two going through, Italy have got two going through, Spain have got three going through, I think. Atletico, yeah, they've got three going through. And that's the difference. And we're having to face that every week. And the difference in the squad quality in the Premiership throughout the whole league, because everybody's got 100 million to spend every year now, that the rest of the teams in Europe don't have. There's only the big six in Europe, if you might say. who've got that sort of money to spend. So you're kind of right in what you're saying, that we should be beating the best of the rest, which we are doing. But we'll find out exactly where we are. But certainly against Barcelona.
So just to put the cat amongst the pigeons, if Sunderland had been in the Champions League this season and had the same games we had, do you think they would have got through to the last 16, the both of you? Do you think they would have been good enough to get through to the last 16?
I would say probably not. simply because I don't think they would have finished as high as we finished in the Champions League with the fixtures we had. Specifically, Leverkusen, Barcelona, Marseille, PSG. I don't think they would have got the points that we've got. And so they would have been playing better teams than we had to play when we beat Karabakh. So that would have been tougher for them. I'm not saying they wouldn't have done it. It's a hypothetical.
Yeah.
But I don't think they would have been as well off as we were.
What's your thoughts, Tina, before we move on?
I mean, I think Sunderland probably would have made it. I mean, if we're saying that the Premier League have got the more quality, I mean, Sunderland outfought us in the game against us, if we're going to be brutally honest. So I think if they had the same run of games that we'd have, I don't see any reason why they would have struggled any more than we have. I mean, our league form's not been leaps and bounds above them. They definitely started the season brighter than we did. I don't think they would have had the squad to deal with the extra games, but outside of that, I mean, they are a Premier League side, so I don't see, if we're going to say that the Premier League's just so much better and every team from the Premier League's going to go through in the Champions League, I don't see why they wouldn't have qualified.
100%.
I mean, Sunderland's a prime example. They spent 153 million in the summer. There's very few European teams would have spent that much. Having said that, they were starting from a much lower base.
Position. Yeah, they haven't got the squad depth, have they?
No.
Guys, just before
that showed when the players all went off to AFCON. The slump in form was.
Oh yeah, I forgot that one.
The slump in form meant that they were still ahead of Newcastle. I think is the big point. But anyway, if we're going to move on from this,
we haven't got any goalkeeper shouts in the chat, by the way.
Yep, just a quick reminder to the chat in regards to the team for tomorrow night. We're wanting you guys to pick the team, so we'll put in the chat your choice of goalkeeper, whether you would have Pope in goal or you'd have Ramsdale in goal. So we're going to rely on you guys tonight to pick the team for tomorrow. I mean, Eddie seems to be putting names into a hat, so why don't we do exactly the same? So anyway, moving on.
That's how it's working, but okay.
The presser this morning, me and Wynn sat and watched it. I don't know if you managed to catch it, Tina. I don't think there's.
Yeah, I was watching the show.
Oh, brilliant! I don't think there's really a load to say from it. The normal questions, but did you guys pick anything up from that, or have any inklings of what might happen tomorrow from the presser?
I mean, I
didn't get it. Go on, Tina.
No, I was just going to say. I mean, I didn't really get any indication about tomorrow, but I did like one of the interactions that we got, which was Eddie Howe was kind of asked a bit of a loaded question in regards to almost an implication that he picks his favourite players rather than picking the players that would be best for that match, and he kind of shut that question down. And I know that there have been some members of this panel, not naming any names, Boki, who have said that Eddie Howe depends totally on his favourite players, like he's always going to pick the players that he likes, and he kind of suggested in that press conference that is not how he thinks.
The big thing I took
agree with that?
The big thing I took from the presser today was the fact that we have played 45 games this season, and Man United have played 30. And I was honestly stuck. I mean, obviously I knew we would have played more, but with the Carabao Cup and whatnot, and Europe, 15 games more, half as many again as they have played. That's why you need a squad.
And that's the big thing. The squad depth is still what we're lacking at this club, and I think that's a big reason for our league form dropping off. That I don't think a lot of people actually talk about. A lot of people will sling blame at the manager, or sling blame at the recruitment staff, or sling blame at Isak, or nowadays apparently we're just blaming Walter Mara, which is a wild avenue to go down. But I think the fact that we just don't have the squad depth is should be like a top bullet point of the reasons for the lack of form this season.
But in regards to that, do you not think the pressers should be pushing Eddie more with questions? Again, I've said this all season, and I think, Win, to be fair to you and Tina, you have all said exactly the same thing. The very easy questions that he gets, why was there no question asked? There was a couple of major issues with the keeper at the weekend. Are you thinking of changing him? What rotation are you thinking of doing for this game? We've had a really poor performance against Everton. What can you do to turn this around, Eddie? None of those questions were really covered off. I don't know
it would have been an interesting one, wouldn't it? Because Eddie, as we know, is very much a player's man. He tries to look after his players. And if he were to drop, and let's face it would be dropping them. We're not talking about rotation yet. If he dropped Pope, to get back on your original team question, if he dropped Pope, that's him chucking him under a bus, basically, and saying you were to blame for the Everton defeat. So Ramsdale's getting his chance. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, by the way, because that's what I would do. But
yeah,
you can argue that it's Eddie not being ruthless enough. I would argue it's Eddie putting his arm around the shoulder of players and saying, look, do better.
Yeah,
but there has to be a point where that's not the case. There has to be a point where you think this player isn't good enough now, and but I'm not here to be Mr. Nice Guy. I'm not here to be Eddie Howe, the player's favourite person. Every player agree with us. I'm here to manage this team, and the best thing for this team now is Pope isn't performing. I put another keeper in goal.
Yeah, I agree.
Peter, do you agree with that?
That's what I would do.
I mean, I think it's a balance. Like it's a balance you've got to get right. If you're too ruthless, then you upset players. Which and if you put too much emphasis on the fact that you've dropped a specific player after a loss, what damage does that do to their confidence? And I think the team's running on so low confidence now that you walk a bit of a dangerous edge on there. But I think in regards to team selection, you need to have yourself kind of set up in a way where you can make those changes without it seeming like you're just blatantly dropping somebody for the performance or throwing somebody under the bus, as you said. Because you've got to these are human beings that we're dealing with at the end of the day, and to get the best out of human beings, you've got to kind of look after that mental health side of it, that confidence side of it. But you definitely, at the same time, you can't just let a player who's making mistake upon mistake, or having bad game after bad game, or having a bad run of form. There does have to be a point where you then bring in somebody else and freshen up the team, give somebody else a chance, maybe do it in a way that makes them just motivated to improve their performances again, rather than making them feel like they've been thrown under the bus.
So D-Day then, who do you start tomorrow night?
Ramsdale.
We'll come on to that, Win. So come on, then we'll start in goal. Then go on, we'll do that one now, because the chat have been a little bit quiet and a little bit frightened to put their opinions in. I'm sure they will with other positions. So Ramsdale got a mention in the chat. I don't know if there was any others. Tina, was it just the one?
Darlow got a mention.
Darlow.
Oh, he had a blinder on Saturday or Sunday maybe.
Yeah. So for me, it has to be Ramsdale. I mean, Pope has made too many mistakes over too many games now. I would pop Ramsdale in goal. I don't know what you guys think, Win.
Yeah, Ramsdale all day long for me.
Tina?
Yeah, we'll go with. I mean, to be fair though, Ramsdale hasn't kept a clean sheet all season, so I'm not sure
No.
it's much of an improvement. But yeah, I mean, I'd probably give Ramsdale a crack.
I mean,
Yeah,
Ian was saying this morning that he was shot down in flames when he said priority in the summer is a top-class goalie. And I mean, I still think that's not a priority. That as bad in inverted commas as Ramsdale and Pope appear to be, they're not totally rubbish. You know what I mean?
No, far from it.
We can get by with them, and I think there's other priorities that we need to address.
Well, I said that, Win, a couple of weeks ago, and I firmly believed it to be like is what is my position. But I think now, I'm thinking to myself, no, it's right. We need a new goalkeeper, and to me, I think if you can get Ramsdale for the 16 million, you sign him, you get a new goalkeeper in, and you let Pope go.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. It's an interesting show.
I wouldn't be averse to that.
Because I think Ramsdale's a good number 2, as long as you've got a great number 1.
Part of the argument, though, would be that if we were defending better or keeping possession of the ball a little bit better and not just letting teams run wide through the midfield, then potentially the goalkeepers are a lot better than we are making them look at the moment. There's a lot of individual errors that we've mentioned over the course of the season. And a goalkeeper can't really be much better than his defense. So just to kind of put a little bit of, protection in there for the 2 goalkeepers, that's my little 2 cents I would add in there.
Right, guys. So anyway, we're letting you pick the team for the week for Wednesday night. So right back, who would your right back be? I think
Should
the 2
choices probably the back 4.
No, we'll do right back first. So I think the right back, it's either Trips or...
I think what Tina's saying, I will go in back 4.
Yeah, back 4. 4-4-3-3, Eddie's normal formation. So in regards to that, is it a Trips, the older guy, or is it put the faith in the youth and young Shaw? You guys in the chat, let us know who's the most likely to play, and if you think Eddie would have the kahunas to go with Shaw. Right, moving on to the next point I wanted to speak about was the team setup tomorrow night. I think the last few games, Eddie's got the team completely wrong in his setup. He's really, really played the wrong players at the wrong time. He's played the wrong system. He's played the wrong, complete and utter, just got everything wrong, which proved it during the game the other night. How can you guys justify Eddie's setup of games, and will he get it right for this one? Because I've got serious doubts he will. Win.
I will settle for what he started with on Saturday, 4-1-4-1. And that is Voldemort still in midfield and Anthony Gordon still up front. I think if we play Voldemort up front tomorrow, we're going to get hammered. He cannot... The only way albeit against lesser teams and 10 men and everything that everybody brings into the conversation, the only way we have looked good this season is with a press. And we need Anthony Gordon to lead that press because Voldemort cannot do it.
Well, I know you've got an agenda against Voldemort, Win.
I haven't got any agenda against
Well, you
Voldemort.
have. You keep calling the poor guy out no matter what he does, but he's ill for tomorrow night, so it makes no difference anyway. He's not going to be playing. He hasn't trained all week because of this bug that Ramsey had.
Said this morning.
But why you keep calling? He's our biggest ever signing. We've spent a fortune on him. He's a German international. Why are you guys calling him out? What's he done wrong for Newcastle?
Not us both. I've not said a
I'm
bad
not
word
calling him
against
out.
Walter Mata.
But you just have. You've just said that Walter Mata shouldn't be playing or shouldn't
did I?
start
I've
where
said
he
he
should
shouldn't be
be.
leading the line.
I didn't say that.
But why we spent
Oh,
69
sorry, I
million on
did.
him?
All right,
So
well,
why we
well,
spent?
okay then.
So why
Sorry,
we spent
Tina. So
69 million on him?
so
For
let
to
no.
be
Well,
a striker?
Let's go back to the formation then, because I'm saying 4-1-4-1. What would your formation be, Tina?
I mean, I would go with the 4-3-3. I don't think we've got a lot of choice tomorrow. I mean, Nick Waldemar is sick. Can I just point out though, right? Like much like when everybody was bad mouthing Lewis Hall when we first got him and thought he'd been a waste of money, I said that he was going to become a good player, and he's ended up becoming probably our best player. Much like that with Nick Waldemar, I have said all season when people have been doubting his ability or thinking we've wasted money or anything else that people have been saying, my stance the whole time is, watch what we're going to get from him next season. If he's still a Newcastle United player next season, all of the criticisms of him is going to be shut down. I guarantee, I'll stake my name on it, that Nick Waldemar is going to come good at Newcastle United. The man's an
You will
absolute
stake
genius
your
with his feet.
reputation
I will
on it.
stake my reputation of the woman who thinks that people can have two knees and one leg on the fact that Nick Waldemar will come good for Newcastle United. As a centre forward or just behind another centre forward, I don't think we need to have the argument of, oh, is he a number 10 or is he number 9? Nick Waldemar is a forward player who can score goals, who can assist goals, and who next season for us, once he's got used to the Premier League, will be absolutely unstoppable.
But Wynne quickly turned me question onto Voldemort, which wasn't the question I was raising. The question I was raising was whether Eddie Howe can get the formation right tomorrow night. You know, he hasn't done it so far in the last few games. Can he do it in this one? Can he actually put a team out that can beat Man United? Or are we going to be in the same situation as we've been in the last Premier League games where he's been trying to make changes during the game and it's just went absolutely terrible? So, you know,
Well,
it's not down that's not down to any individual player. So Wynn's got an agenda against Voldemort, which we can all see.
I've got no agenda against Voldemort at all.
But move back on Eddie Howe.
Because I agree with Chief
Can Eddie Howe get
Voldemort
his
will come good.
But can Eddie Howe get his tactics right for this game at the start? That's the question I really asked.
Can he? Yes, he can.
Will he?
I mean, will he? I mean, that's another question, isn't it? I mean, I think he realised last time against Everton that he'd got it a bit wrong. He tried to do a little bit of in-game management. I'm not sure if this is all creeping in because people have started mentioning his in-game management not being there, but I think Eddie just needs to stick to his guns. He's got to. I mean, you've got to bear in mind that we do have injuries, we do have people who are sick, so you've got to factor that into whether we can put up a team that can beat Manchester United. If everybody was fit, can we beat Manchester United? 100%. Out of the players that we've got available to us, can we put up a team that's capable of beating Manchester United? Definitely. We just need to make some smart decisions. A couple of the players looking a little bit leggy. Is Dan Burn going to be as influential on the game as we need him to be? If Trippier's picked it right back, although to be fair, the chat's only really put up Leo Shahar as an option for right back so far.
Well, that is the only option.
Well, I mean, when we got Trippier, you could play Trippier.
But hang on. You guys go down this route. Why wasn't he using the squad at the start of the season? So, we've got. I said from the very start of the season, I got shouted down by you guys. We should be using the squad. We should be engaging players into games so that when we need them, the match fit and the match ready, they're ready for games. Win every game. We should play with best players. It doesn't matter what you play your best players every game. Who's been proven right at this time? We've got so many injuries because we've played players over the top, and even when they've been out with injuries, we've tried to rush them back, and that's down to Eddie Howe. That's down to his management.
But there's another question in that, though, isn't there? Which is, are the likes of Leo Shahar and Sean Neve and Alex Murphy, are they ready for Premier League football? We've just started this show by saying that the Premier League is the toughest league, and all of the teams are, all of the mid to bottom of the table teams are better than they are in any other league that you would come up against other teams. you know, there is a chance that, you know, these players just aren't ready. And yes, I agree that rotation is definitely something that you need. But we spent a lot of the season without both of our first choice fullbacks. We've now still got our first choice right back on the injury list, even though he is creeping ever closer to returning. We'd found a good little makeshift right back in Lewis Miley. Then he got injured. So when it comes to rotation, the only real option that we would have had is youth. And you can't really say that you've been proven right that we should have played them, because we do not know yet if they are actually up to Premier League standard.
And that's the point.
But we should know by now, because that's exactly the point I'm making, that they should have been playing from the start of the season, last 20 minutes, last 10 minutes of games, to build them up and to show what they can actually do in the Premier League. So, you know, you're proving me point completely in that you're right, they're not ready, but that's because we haven't given them the chance to see if they are ready.
Yeah, but you might be you might be a farmer and you might own a dodo, and it might be a beautiful dodo, and that might be your favorite bird that you've got on that farm, and you might want that dodo to be the most extravagant and popular dodo in the whole area. But you don't encourage that dodo to fly off the edge of a cliff, because it's not going to work. So, you know, we can have these players that would say, oh, yeah, I would love to see them play. I would love to see like these players given a chance. Would only find out if they play these games. And I agree with that. I definitely think there are certain ends of games where bringing, you know, Leo Shahar on would have definitely been the right thing to do. But we don't see what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe there's a reason. Maybe, you know, Eddie Howe doesn't want to, you know, ask a dodo to fly yet. I think against Everton, not this last time, but the time before that, I think that was a good chance to give a couple of the younger players a run out there. I think a lot of the games have kind of went to the wire this season, so it's kind of handcuffed us a little bit to not be able to do that. Against Karabag, I've always said we should have probably started more of the youth players there, but that didn't happen. But I don't think we've had as many opportunities to play the young players as you may think that we do.
Right.
Let's
take Shahar. Let's take Shahar.
Can I just raise one quick point there? I believe dodos are now extinct. So let's hope that's the case with our manager at the end of the season.
Well, that's a bit mean, Borky. Oh, wait, no, they are. I wasn't thinking of dodo. Okay, yeah. Moving on.
Super chat there, Win.
Oh, what was I saying? Borky cardigans in the bin. Where's your shirt and tie, you doody?
Yeah, and that's why he was upset, by the way. He said earlier on in the chat that you had promised him yesterday with Win as a witness. This morning you promised him with Win as a witness that you were going to wear a shirt and tie for tonight's show, and you have turned up in classic Borky cardigan.
So are you guys okay covering for 2 seconds and I'll go and put a shirt and tie on? But was I going to give it
right? Wait a minute though, because you're saying earlier on in the season, why didn't we play Shahar, right? Because up until the Forest game, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 games into the season, we had Livramento, Trippier, and Kraft available.
But Win, how many games were into the season? So that's 13 games into the season. We've now played 45 games. Why hasn't we've had lost Tino? Why hasn't Shahar been given a chance in that period?
Because the games were too risky to risk it.
So Karabag, hang on, just using Karabag. You know, the game afterward won 6-1. How was it risky to play Shahar in that game? What was the risk?
I've already agreed with you on that one.
So again, you flip flop when you argue on both sides of the argument.
No, I'm not flip flopping.
Well,
you're talking about one game, which was the second last game.
So, but that game, if he had rested Trippier, if he had rested players in the team, you know, we'll go into the Everton game with a hell of a lot of rested players, you know, and a lot more chance of winning. When we were playing against Everton, nobody can sit on here and tell me we weren't looking like we were running through treacle. Dan Burns' legs had gone at the end of that game. Trippier needs rest. You know, why bring Hall on that game? You know, you sit here, you make points.
Because you're talking about Dan Burn there, not Shahar. Shahar can't play left centre back.
But I'm not asking him to. I'm not asking him to. What I'm saying is, we had other
But
players that could play
it's no
those
good
positions.
citing.
You
It's
could,
no
you
good
could, you could, you
citing
could,
Dan
you,
Burn.
you could have started. You could have started Shaw at right back. You could have started, Botman at centre back. You could have started.
Botman was injured.
Sorry, not Botman. Chow at centre back. You could have played
Chow was
Alex.
But you did.
suspended.
You could have
Oh
played
no,
Axie.
Joe was
You
suspended.
could have played Murphy at centre back, and then left back he was willing to drop Jacob Murphy back there during the game. Why not start him there and go with that back four? It's not great back
He
four.
dropped Murphy to right back, not left back. So you would have been starting Trippier at left back.
But why? But why not do those sort of things? When fair enough, you guys can argue about the team that I'm choosing, but why not just make that decision not to play every player who's been playing week in, week out when we've got a 5-goal lead? What argument is there not to rotate players when you have a 5-goal lead?
Okay, let me flip this around to you, because I think me and Win have both vehemently agreed with you about the rotation that we could have had in the
Player.
Oh, don't go now. But yeah, while he's away, I'll make my point, and hopefully you'll still be able to hear us.
I can still hear you guys.
Perfect. So, because what I want to do is I want to kind of turn this around. I think me and you have both agreed, Win, that against Karabakh there certainly could have been more rotation. He keeps mentioning the Lewis Hall coming on, which we've both kind of shouted down because it happened because of Botman's stiffness. We're aware of that. I get what Bogey's saying of you. You could have, put Jacob Murphy straight at the left back and then just brought Trippier off for Shahar at that point and put Shahar on a little bit earlier, which I very much agree could have been an option. I'm not sure how well Jacob Murphy would have done at left back, and I think the idea was always for Jacob Murphy to come off before the end of the game. So that would be my answer to most of that. But what I want to know from Boki when he comes back, because we've both named 2 games where we could have seen some rotation. That's the end of the Everton game and the Karabakh game, the second leg. I'm interested to see where else Mr. Boki would have rotated these players, because if you look at a lot of the games this season, it's went to the wire. You couldn't have brought the youth on against Leeds. We won that in the 94th minute, and there's been a lot of games that have went very down to the wire. You could have maybe brought them on in a couple of games that have we've kind of lost, but you've got to think, how's the fans who Borky thinks is already turning on the manager, how is the fans going to react if you're getting into the 60th, 70th minute of a game and Eddie Howe's making substitutions that kind of suggest, oh, well, we're not going to win this, let's just kind of give up. So when he gets back, I certainly want to know which other games he would have done this rotation in. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against rotation. I'm not saying that we shouldn't rotate players, because we absolutely should. I just think our options are somewhat limited, and as much as I would like to see these young players given a chance, you can't throw them in at 2s each in a game that's high intensity and expect them to come on and have their debut and not be too much under pressure. And it's kind of, oh, here we go, sink or swim. That's not the way to develop young players. So yeah, besides the two games I've mentioned, I would love to know where else we could have maybe brought these youth players in. And I'm sure there's a couple of games that I can't think of right now. But yeah, I don't know what you think of that.
The classics that everybody brings up is the oh, there you go, Wazza. Shirt and tie, especially for you.
Just for you. Book, you actually look quite smart in that shirt and tie. You should do that more often.
A lovely pink tie. No, what I'm saying is...
I'm not going to comment on that. Moving on. No, I'm joking.
Talking about, you're specifically talking about Shahar, who could have started last Tuesday. And I agree with that. But that was in that particular game. And the idea of putting Murphy at left back would have been nonsense. Absolute nonsense. If Eddie Howe had done that, you would have been the first one If Murphy drops a bollock, he'd have been the first one. What's he doing playing Jacob, a right winger at left back? Shut up, man.
Little bit
He'd have
careful
been
with the
going
language, but yeah.
berserk.
So, Borky, did you hear my question while you were suiting yourself up?
I did.
So how would you respond to that one?
Well, firstly, in regards to rotation, I've been calling out for it all season. You know, we should have been rotating, and yes, things can go wrong if you rotate. That's sort of, you know, that's part and parcel of it. I feel like a bit of a fool sitting dressed like this doing it, but yeah, but you know, it can go wrong. It can be, but why not when we're 4-1 up against Everton? Why not do it then?
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
I concede Everton. I concede Karabag. Those two
yeah.
games, I absolutely 100% think we should have played some of the youth players and given them a chance. But if you look at the way that the games have went for the rest of the season, where else do you think, and this is a genuine question, I'm not trying to get at you here, I'm not trying to trip you up, I'm just asking, which other games would you have tried to factor youth into through the rest of the season outside of Everton and Karabag?
And Everton, by the way, we got the third goal against Everton at half time. So that was then 3-0. So you could argue then that we could have done something at 3-0.
Yeah, Everton, I've definitely agreed with the whole time. I'm trying to find out where else we could have done this though.
But that's the big point, Tina. I agree with you. There would have been a struggle the rest of the season,
But
but
we
that
had
just shows what.
Livramento against Everton.
But hang on. Let us finish my point. The big problem the rest of the season is Eddie Howe not getting into positions where you can rest players. So, you know, yes, you're quite right. We've not been in the position where we could rest players. But the main point of that is down to the manager having such a bad strategy in picking a team that he doesn't give us the chance to do that because we're always hanging on to games or trying to get back into them.
Okay,
So, you know, it's an easy question to ask.
So
Just
surprise,
just a quick one.
surprise. This Everton game that everybody says that was when we could have rotated. Surprise, surprise. That Everton game, Livramento right back, Hall left back, midfield, Miley, Bruno, J7, Elanga, Voltemara, Barnes. So
Point.
a full team.
So why not then, when we're 4-1 up, take some of them players off and put the youngsters on?
Yeah, no, I think his point is, if you don't mind me quickly jumping in there, is that the reason that we were, because what your argument basically is that you wish that we had been in a position to rotate as we were against Everton more times in the season. And I think what Wynn's trying to kind of point out there is in that game, we had our first team. And if you look at us when we've had our first team or we've had a fully fit team, I mean, if you look at the last time we beat Manchester City, I think you'll notice a little bit of correlation in that as well. So when we've got a fully fit team, yeah, we can absolutely compete up in the the upper echelons of the Premier League. But when you've got injuries constantly and you can't play your first team, it's going to be much less likely that you're going to end up in a position where you're 4-1 up with like almost half a game or half a half still to play, like a quarter, I guess I could have said, where you can then make these changes.
Quick super chat. Pokey's getting married in the morning. Ding dong, the bells are gonna chime.
Never again is the only answer. Never again is the only answer to that one from me. It in regards to right backs, I think we've maybe come to a decision on a right back. Tina, what's your thoughts and what's the chat said about right backs?
The chat has kind of went with Shahar, to be fair.
Oh, interesting.
Your thought? I mean, if Shahar is as decent a player as he would seem from the fact that he's captain of the England under-21 side, by all means, I see no reason not to give him a start. I think if we're going to be realistic against Manchester United, we're going to start with Trippier. But I wouldn't be devastated if I saw Shahar in the starting lineup. I just think it would be a bit of a strange game. Okay, we're not going to play against Karabag. We're not going to play against Wolves now. We're not going to play against Nottingham Forest. Manchester United in the best form they've been in for 6 years. Leo, get your shorts on, fella. You're going on. I mean, that's going to be a wild decision to make. But I mean, I wouldn't be adverse to it. But I think we can safely say it's going to be Kieran at right back.
Let's face it, Howe is going to bottle any decision there. He will pick Trippier no matter what. Well, it is about bottling it. Go on, Win. You have your say, but it is bottling it because Trippier's been running through trickle.
Well, I don't think he has been running through trickle.
Let me get a pen because there's
what
I want to say is what we all decide with the chat should be the first 11.
Oh,
and then I want to see what
guys, can I just quickly say who do you want as your centre backs for the game against Man United? So the two centre backs that we should be playing. Go on, Win, I'll let you have your say.
Well, we've only got two, haven't we?
We'll maybe hope that Botman's back as well.
Well, even if,
this is the
man who says playing them too early when they come back from injury.
So, well, hang on. We've got four centre backs when you think about it: Alex Murphy, Botman, Byrne, and Chow.
Right. So we've got two, Chow and Byrne. Are you seriously saying you're going to throw Alex Murphy in against Man United at home?
Well, that's up to the chat. That's why we've given them the shout out tonight.
And we are, by the way, we're going with the chat.
We're not. It's not the win dictates everything. Show it's it's down to the guys in the chat. That's who I believe in. I think they understand football a lot more than you.
Who do you want, Alex Murphy or Dan Byrne at left centre back?
Whoa! That's not the question asked. The question is, who's the pairing that you want at the back?
And by the way,
we've only got one right centre back, Joe.
But you can play either anybody at centre back.
Yeah.
So
against Man
United. Let's we're not a dictatorship. We're not a Trump. In America. Let's make the chat have the say, not win.
Politics, shots fired.
Sorry, guys, no politics in the chat. That was my bad.
Just to clarify on right back, chat has settled on Louis Sahar. Leo Shahar. Louis Sahar? Where am I? I'm back in the early 2000s there. My apologies. But yeah, Leo Shahar is our NUFC Talk chat selection at right back against Manchester United tomorrow. That's official.
Good.
Right, there you go.
I like that.
I'll assume you've counted them. I couldn't say any.
It was easy to count. There was only two. So, I mean, this was maths that even Tina Toonies could figure out.
So all Tina did was get her right leg out and count her knees.
There's Tony T. This is in relation to what you were saying. No, Eddie will bottle it and not pick Shahar.
Yeah,
why is it all about bottling it?
Because why hasn't he done it all season? Why didn't he do it against Karabag? He hasn't got the kahunas to actually play players. He's a poor manager. He's a poor manager in regards to playing youth.
Wow. He's a poor manager. We're seeing
you guys are laughing. Guys. You guys are laughing. Come back and defend him. In which case,
come back and defend him.
Well done.
It doesn't need any defending. His record speaks for itself.
In regards to whether Eddie Howe is a good or bad manager, how many managers in your lifetime have qualified for the Champions League with Newcastle United and made it to the last 16? Answers on a postcard, Bogie, because that may take a while.
My lifetime. Well, hang on. It doesn't make you a good manager just because you've done better than the dross that's came before you.
It makes you not a poor manager, though.
Keegan and Bobby Robson are dross.
Keegan and Bobby Robson failed. Keegan and Bobby Robson failed to win anything. I don't sit here and ever defend the fact that they didn't win anything. I've never done that. But what I would say is the football they played was a hell of a lot better than this dross we're watching under Howe.
Well, as I've said a million times, give me results in front of football every day.
But do you guys look forward to going to the games? Because Under Keegan,
Yes.
you would look forward to going to the game. Under Robson, you would look forward to going to the game. Under this Dross, it's kind of, I've got to go to the game again.
For the last 3
Is there a
years,
lot?
we've played some of the best
Is there a lot
football.
of movement from Bruce football? Is there a
Could
lot of movement
not
since then?
disagree more than
The way
that.
we
I
play wise.
love
Been a
going to
lot
the
of
game.
difference. Yeah.
So come on, then. What's the difference? What's the difference that you have seen? Or we're playing massively attacking and exciting football?
No,
Up until this
we're getting
season.
results.
Up until this season, we've been absolutely
That's all I'm bothered about.
Eddie
Results.
Howe's been amazing for us since he came.
It's an entertainment. It's an entertainment process.
You weren't
No,
you
it's
weren't
not.
entertained in the last
It's
two
a
seasons.
results process.
Are you entertained playing those games?
Were you not entertained for the last 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, I've not been entertained for the last 2 years, definitely. Yes, we won the
Really?
cup. Yes,
Well,
we got into Europe.
you weren't entertained when we got Champions League and won the Carabao Cup.
Well, we scraped Champions League. Yes, we won the cup, and I'll never ever play down for
But you
doing
weren't
that.
entertained.
But I wasn't entertained
The
with the
game
football.
against
we were
Liverpool.
playing.
Well, there you
against
go. You see,
Arsenal.
that's a difference. I would rather win something than be entertained.
Last season, we played some good football. The season before that, we were one of the best teams to watch in the Premier League with that press. Absolutely harassing teams. And then, we had a little bit of the dark arts, which, let's be honest, when we're doing it, we all kind of love. Just to put a little defence out there, though, for, just in case he's listening to the show, Kevin Keegan. Without Kevin Keegan, this show wouldn't exist. Newcastle United would not be in the Premier League or debating whether we're doing well in the Champions League. Would not be having any discussion at all about the likes of Nick Walter-Mara. Without Kevin Keegan, none of this would be possible. He did not fail in the slightest at Newcastle United. He took a Division 2 team and he stood there and went, you know what, there's one man who can save this football club. And he installed it so that we were one of the best supported teams in England and gave us a belief that we should be able to qualify for things such as the Champions League. Without Keegan, that never happens.
And the problem is that very same era instilled in the fan base a belief that we are actually better than we are.
And I think Eddie Howe's done that as well.
And Eddie Howe has done exactly the same.
Yeah.
And he's been a victim of his own success. Was I saying, isn't he lovely? Isn't he wonderful?
Hey, we thought Bogey's cardigan was popular. This is new levels of popularity for Bogey's outfit.
I think what was I was trying to say is you can't see the wood for the trees.
Guys, all I can see is you've got it, flaunt it. Anyway, just moving on from this because you guys are wrong and we're never going to agree. What do you think about these?
Hold on. Do you remember that time that I was wrong about that thing, Bogey? No, you don't, do you?
I remember all the times you've been wrong.
It's never happened.
I remember all the times you've been wrong. It's normally when you start talking. So
Oh.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. Bang, bang, bang. Anyway, we'll move on.
You start supporting Newcastle United, Bogey.
Tony T saying, and the money, Tina, don't forget the huge amount of money that Keegan spent. Because we were the top spenders in the league, bar none, when Keegan was here.
Football managers that
hang on. Can we just say how much Keegan spent? The big summer that he had when he bought in Ferdinand, Barton, Ginola,
Shaka
But it's no good comparing the actual amounts.
Gillespie was the season before.
I think it was
£15 million was a world record bid then, man.
Hang on. No. That you're changing the subject again. That's wrong. He didn't bring Shearer in that summer. That summer was
didn't bring Gillespie in that summer?
No. What I'm saying is we were breaking the world. We're still the only British team to break the world transfer record.
No. The season that we had win the championship, the Premier League, we didn't break the transfer record. That was the season after with Shearer.
Yeah, but we're still spending 6 million and 3 million when they were rare. Warren Barton, 4 million. most expensive defender in the history of the Premier League, or the history of English football. We were breaking the records, man. We were spending more than Man United then.
But hang on. No. We
Yes,
weren't
yes,
spending
yes.
more. No, we weren't spending more than Man United at that point. Yes, we did when we signed Shearer, but before that, we were on about a par with Man United. So, yes, we were
Well,
big
okay, so
spenders.
we're on par with Man United. And way above everybody else, by the way.
And where did we end up in the league that season?
Second. Well,
And
not
was
the
that
third,
not a,
third the first
what
season. And then
was that? Was that not a brilliant season by we? Has your hero
fantastic
however
season.
had we? Has your hero however had we second?
No, because he hasn't had the money to spend. That's exactly the point that Tony T was making. Don't forget the money that Eddie spent, that Keegan spent.
Don't forget the managers either. But moving
In
on to
real
subs,
terms.
but moving on to subs tomorrow night, do you think Eddie has to be more sort of consistent with his subs, or more better in-game management? I know we've been saying it all season. He's going to say yes, but guys, he hasn't changed. He's got worse, if anything, at in-game management. His subs have to start having impacts on games, and they're not. Can you guys justify him in any way for hitting the subs that Eddie Howe makes? Tina?
I think you're using the wrong stance with this justify word that you're using. Eddie Howe's substitutions have been pointed out as not changing games, but we've been going through, just we've been playing bad in a lot of games, and we don't really have the impact substitutes to bring on to change that around. We would have thought that either Wissa or Walter Mata, whichever one wasn't starting, would have been that person. But they've struggled to find that explosiveness this season. The same with Anthony Alanga. He could definitely be a game changer. The only real impact of substitute that we've had this season really has been Harvey Barnes, unless you also include coming on the chin people, in which case shout outs to Joe Linton as well. His in-game management, he's certainly been trying to change things around the last couple of games. It was very evident against Everton, but it didn't work against Everton. If anything, it got a little bit worse. But the substitutions in games, you need to react to what you see on the pitch. And there has been a couple of games this season where people have said that Eddie Howe hasn't done that, which is fair enough. Everyone's going to have their opinions. But in regards to what's he going to do with these substitutions tomorrow, it's going to depend. If we come out there all guns are blazing and we're 3-0 up by half time, it's probably a very different tactic of substitutions or half time team talk that you would have if we go in 3-0 down at half time.
Yeah. Win, your thoughts?
Well, I was wanting to get back onto the team. You can talk about substitutions all day.
Go on, then we'll get back on. I'm quite happy with that.
If you haven't got the substitutes to pick from, you're not going to make an impact. If your best players are already on the pitch, players that you're bringing off the bench are not going to make it any better, really. However, I do believe that some of his substitutions are weird, to say the least, and rightly are questioned. I question them myself all the time.
So why don't the pressers question him? Win? Why don't they go in against him on this? They're the ones that have got a voice for the fans. Well, it is. They've got a voice for the fans. Sure enough, they're the ones that should be going in and impressing him on the issues that he's got.
I hear you mention it. I know that this question was at Win, but I hear you a lot of the time you go in on this idea of why aren't the journalists pressing them? Why aren't the journalists pressing them? They're the voice of the Toon Army. They're not. We are the voice of the Toon Army. The other shows on YouTube are the voice of the Toon Army. People who have opinions on things are the voice of the Toon Army. A journalist's job isn't to go in there and voice our concerns. A journalist's there to get a little bit of information for the game ahead, or a little bit of information from the game before, check out on injuries. You can throw in a few tough questions, but they're not there to antagonize Eddie Howe or to put a voice forward.
So hang on. On that point, then why did Craig Hope used to do it against Bruce when he was there? You see that. Why did journalists do it with? Why have journalists done it with managers before, but they're unwilling to do it with Eddie Howe?
How's the
But,
break been? Was that a pressing question, was it?
But
no. But why
when
they done it
Craig
with
Hope
previous
did it with
manager? Why they
with
done it with
Bruce?
previous managers, but not with Eddie Howe? Eddie Howe just seems to be getting an easy ride.
Because Craig Hope was voicing the concerns of 50,000 Newcastle fans.
So wait there. That's exactly what I've just made the point of. They're not doing it now. Tina's came in and says they're not there to do that. So why all of a sudden have they done that?
Because you don't represent 50,000 Newcastle fans.
So you didn't hear the boos after the game or the other night? You didn't hear the boos after Everton? You didn't have the murmurs when you were coming out the ground with fans?
I heard the boos for the Gordon substitution, and I'm not sure what that was for.
No, you watch back the game when there were boos. I was there. There was boos. There was considerable boos at the end of that game. And if you don't believe me, watch Adam Pearson's video on YouTube. He recorded the end of the game, and there were considerable boos in his video.
So what question would you have liked to have been asked?
All I'm saying is,
well, why the hell haven't you done things differently, Eddie?
Yeah, because that's exactly the type of thing that journalists would ask.
Well, it's exactly what they used to say to Bruce.
Word
so
for
why
word.
Is Bruce? What? Yeah, Craig Hope was. If you remember, he got chucked out of press conferences with Bruce. Why
Craig
hasn't
Hope,
he got
who
that?
thinks Nick Waldemar a terrible signing and the worst signing?
Exactly.
That Craig Hope.
So that
He's
Craig
the
Hope,
voice
exactly.
of the Toon Army to you, is he?
He's a massive voice of the Newcastle.
So you agree that Nick Waldemar was a bad signing?
100% not. 100% not. I completely
just said
disagree.
That Craig Hope represents your views.
No, I didn't. I says Craig Hope is in there to ask the questions that Newcastle United fans want answered. Him and the rest of the journalists in there, that's their job, and they are not doing it. They give Eddie Howe the easiest ride ever. Yet with, as I say, with Bruce and don't get us wrong, they were right with Bruce. Bruce was absolutely rubbish. But why have they changed all of a sudden? And Eddie Howe can't be questioned and can't be criticised, but any other manager can be.
Nobody's saying Eddie Howe can't be criticised.
So why isn't he criticised in the press conferences?
They ask questions about things. They asked about
when
he plays his favourite players.
Well, fair enough. You guys tell me, when was the last time Eddie Howe was called out by a journalist and criticised?
How long ago was the press conference today? About, what, 12 hours? About 12 hours ago.
What was he called out for the day?
Picking his favourite players.
By who?
I mean, I don't know the names of the journalists, but it was literally one of the questions where they been answered.
Put words in his mouth. I think it might have been. No, it wasn't. It wasn't Jordan Cronin.
Anyway, we can get away from this.
It was definitely because he said, "I don't pick favourite players. They've got to earn their right to be in the team, and I pick the best team."
Absolute rubbish. We know that's rubbish.
Well,
you guys can't sit here and say
your opinion is that that's rubbish.
But it is. Let's face it. Gordon's going to get in every game. Burns is going to get in every game. You know, he's got his favourites. We know that.
Burn will get in whilst there's no competition.
You think that. It doesn't necessarily mean that we know
Burn will get in while he's got a backside, simply down to the fact that he's Eddie Howe's favourite centre-back. Anyway, moving on. Talking of centre-backs, who are the two centre-backs that we're going to choose for the game against Man United?
Chow and Burn, obviously.
Two. Tina?
Chats went with Chow and Botman. To be fair,
there was Chow and Botman if possible.
Is Botman fit?
Yeah, Botman's, I think, just about there, so hopefully.
So you are now advocating playing Botman when he's probably not 100% fit?
I'm advocating playing Botman because Burn looked like he was running through a river of bloody treacle on him. The weekend.
If he plays Botman tomorrow night and Botman gets another injury and has to go off, you'll not be blaming Eddie for putting him on before he was fully fit.
100% not, because I'm not like you. I make an informed decision after the game. I don't just go down a route that I want to go down. So no, I won't blame Eddie after that. If he plays Botman, then I go along with that, and if he does get injured again, then yeah, it's a devastating. And But I think at that point it is, as you've said, when he's the Rolls Royce that's in the garage. If he gets injured again, for me, that's a red flag and he needs to go.
Yeah, well, I'm already at that stage, to be fair.
Yeah. Left back, I don't think we've got an option, so it's Lewis Hall at left back.
No,
Guys
let's
in the
put it in
chat,
the chat just in case anybody says Alex Murphy.
well, guys, if anybody wants to make a different opinion to left back in the
Or
chat,
Dan
give me a
Burn,
shout.
because they've got Botman at centre back, so there might be some
Never
people going
Dan
to say
Burn,
that.
not Dan Burn in the chat.
We
No
can't
chance.
dictate
No,
the
but
chat,
according
Loki.
to
If the
your
chat
logic,
says
is
it,
if he plays Botman, he'll play Burn at left back.
Hang on. I'm a dictator as a host on this show. I don't listen to anybody else. So Hall at
no,
left
the
back.
chat,
If
the
anybody in the chat's got a different opinion, fair enough. You can pop it in and I'll
I'll
ignore
keep
it.
an eye on it.
But
I'll keep an eye on it.
we'll move on to right side of obviously the
Davey
right
said
side.
Eddie
Sorry,
isn't dropping Burn, so Chow, Burn, Trips and all.
yeah. So we'll go on to the central midfield three. So from the central midfielders that we've got available, which I think the minute are Tonali, Ramsey, as long as he's fit, Willock, who else am I thinking of here? J7
J7.
and Willock. Who are you guys choosing from that lot? So go for your midfield three quite quickly. So guys, we'll move on now. And my next question's quite a hard one. Who do you think's the most united? Are Man United more united now after 5 wins and a draw in the last 6 games, or are Newcastle United more united after 5 losses and a win in the last 6 games? So who's the more united with the fans?
Well,
Win.
you all of a sudden you've just stuck a with the fans on at the end of it.
Thought you didn't listen to the fans, Borky? I thought this was a dictatorship now that you've got a power tie on.
What you saying there, Tina?
Is he being mean?
He's
Wow,
been
I
mean.
love being a meanie on radio. Wow. Anyway, Win, you were answering a question, I believe.
Yeah. Who's the most united? I think you've only got to look at the likes of Tonali's attitude when he scored the other day, and straight across. Anybody who's trying to say that this squad are not behind Eddie Howe is talking utter nonsense. As far as being united is concerned, we are more united. Well, I'm not saying we're more, because I think since Carrick's gone into Man United, the whole team spirit and everything there has definitely improved. From what's his face?
Amarim.
Amarim. I was trying to think begin with an M, but it's the M. Amarim.
I get why you made that mistake.
And I couldn't think of it. I'm saying that's not it.
I'll put you back, Win. Don't worry.
Hence, what's his face? So because he had lost everybody, and that was patently obvious by the results and the performances that the Man United were getting at the time. And Carrick's come in and he's given everybody a boost. Let's hope it's a new manager bounce, which is going to run out of air, shall we say, when they come up against a united Newcastle United tomorrow.
So Win, you made a massive roundabout there, but you never actually answered the question: who's the most united, Newcastle United or Man United?
I know nothing about Man United, so I couldn't decide how united they are. Don't know enough about what's going on behind the scenes. But all I do know is that Newcastle United are definitely united.
You think?
I know.
Tina, your thoughts before I correct Win?
Well, in that case, you're going to have to correct both of us, because I also think Newcastle United are very united. I think that, there are two ways to look at that question. Is it because Manchester United are in a good run of form and they've got a manager bounce that's going on at the moment? Somebody's going to pop that bubble eventually, and hopefully that's going to be us. Or do you look at what the word united actually means? And this is players standing together, fans standing together, staff standing together. If you look at things factually, Ben, and I know that's going to be a struggle for you, Brokey. Don't worry, I'll help you along here. But the way that Newcastle have reacted to adversity over the course of this season have shown that Newcastle United are a very united team. And then that goes all the way to the stands. That goes through the backroom staff who have came out in support of the team and in support of the manager. And the fact that the players, a lot of them, seem to be putting in maximum effort for Eddie Howe. So to me, and I'm going to get some flack from Manchester United fans for this, and I don't mean this in any disrespectful way. I don't hate Manchester United, but there's only one United.
There is only one United.
Yeah, Man United.
Davey Eddie said, Bogey man, look at his record at the Toon since he came. Ask any top manager what they think of him. He's held in massive regard.
So who's he held in massive regard by? Because he's not by me.
Well, he's saying ask any top manager.
But you can do that, and fair enough. They'll all say, yeah, Eddie Howe's been done great. He's done a massive job since he's been at Newcastle.
But they can't say anything else.
But,
he's the fourth top point scorer in the league.
But hang on. If you ask any other manager to call another manager, none of them are going to say he's done an absolutely rubbish job and he shouldn't be there and shouldn't be in charge of that club. He's not good enough. They all back each other. So, it's a mute point, really, asking another manager what you think of a manager, because...
Well, no, you just look at his record.
So hang on. You tell me a time when another manager says, when asked that sort of question, oh, that manager's rubbish.
Well, you're right there. It's not going to happen. But all I'm saying is, look, what Davey Eddie is saying there is look at his record. He's got the fourth best points total since he came in the Prem.
What's his points record this season? Is it the best in the Premier League this season? Is he fourth this season? No, he's 13th. So yes, he has since he came in. He's been a great manager. And again, you guys call me out on this, and I've never said Eddie Howe hasn't been good for Newcastle United. What I'm saying is he's come to the end of his course. His sell-by date's passed. We need a better manager in.
Bucky, about half an hour ago, you said, and I quote, that Eddie Howe is a bad manager, which is why I pulled you up on it and started talking about the fact that he's been fantastic for almost 5 years at Newcastle United. So I get that you might not have thought that when you've said that, but, you did legitimately say that you thought Eddie Howe was a poor manager.
Well, he is this season. He's a poor manager.
So what you think is he's
sorry,
having a bad
season? I didn't specify that he'd been a bad manager throughout his time here.
Is Miguel Almiron the best right winger we've ever had at this football club?
100% not.
Right, but statistically speaking, a couple of years ago, there was the big part of the season where you could argue that he was a world-class right winger. So if you're going to put things into little epochs of time, you can, you're never really going to be giving yourself the full picture on that, are you?
Well, you're quite right. If when there's an eclipse and the moon, when there's an eclipse and the moon covers the sun, you could see it's dark all the time, but the sunshine keeps coming back.
Oh, you can't cover the sun with one finger.
I don't think that the sun's coming back under Eddie Howe, unfortunately. I think the moon's covered the sun, and unfortunately it's a cloudy sky now, and there's nothing to see the light shining through. That's my big point with it. Anyway, just to move on to a new point, if we do win against Man United, do you guys think that it's the best thing since bread and we're sort of back on track again, and Eddie Howe's the best thing ever?
No, what you've got to do is go, then we'll go on to the next game. Man City at home. Nice, easy one there. Then we'll go on to the next one. Barcelona at home. Nice, easy one. Then we'll go on to the next one. Chelsea away. Nice, easy one. And then we'll go on to the next one. Barcelona away. Nice, easy one. Then we'll go on to the next one. Sunderland at home. Nice, easy one.
So hang on, what's not? So you've rattled off the games we've got, which I understand. So what's not giving you confidence in those games? Why don't you think Eddie should be winning the majority of those games?
Because we haven't got the squads that Man City, Man United, Barcelona, or Chelsea have got.
And is that down to, but we spent the money in the summer. Why haven't we got that squad?
Because
We
they're
didn't spend
injured.
this, we didn't spend any more than they spent.
Anymore, but we spent the money that they spent. So why haven't we got
Yeah,
a
but
good
they were
enough squad to
starting
go into these
from
games?
a better position.
Well, hang on, we'd spent £700 million by this point. You keep mentioning Arsenal; they've spent £1 billion. We spent £700 million. You know, it's £300 million less. Why are we so far back?
We haven't spent £700 million.
Right, I can answer that question though, even if the numbers have been inflated. Where were Arsenal this time 5 years ago, Borky? You can Google it if you need to. It's okay.
Well, no, Arsenal have been awful. Arsenal have been a terrible team.
Arsenal have been a
So, you
terrible
know,
team
well,
for
from
the
their
last 5
standards,
years.
yes.
Were they
Yeah, from their
also in the bottom
standards.
3 this time 5
From
years ago?
from their standards, they've been a poor team.
Where were they finishing though?
Well, they were finishing top half of the Premier League.
Top off. So they're one of the team that
They
in the
only
last
missed out
6
on
years
Champions League once.
hasn't finished outside of the top 5 at all. And your question, and I believe you've done this with a straight face somehow, is to ask how us spending less than a team that is always in contention for Champions League, coming from a team that scraped away from relegation 5 years ago, and you asking how we are not as good as them yet. Can I just clarify that that is the question that you're asking here?
100%, because we've got the manager that
Did
developed
me
players.
reiterating that question back to you answer that question for you? Like,
I'm answering the question. We've got a manager that develops players. We've got a manager that's had the free reign over which players come into this club. He spent £700 million on new players.
not true
This
at all.
this squad over 5 years is Eddie Howe's squad. So you know you can beat around the bush
You still got
as
players
much
who
as you
played
want.
for. You still
We've
got
still
players who
we've
played for
we've
Steve
still
Bruce.
we can beat around the bush as much as you want. This is Eddie Howe's squad. This is the money he's spent on players. If we're not good enough, there's one person it's down to, and that's the manager.
Right. If you were to pick up like chess tonight, right, and you played that for 6 months, and you had all of the money to get onto all of these websites and get the training, do you think that you could then beat me in a game of chess in 6 months' time, or do you think the fact that I've played chess since I was 10 years old might still give me a bit of an advantage there? You can't compare what Arsenal have done in the last 5 years to what we've done in the last 5 years. We are still building from being absolute rock bottom. I hate to bring this up, but in my lifetime, Newcastle have been relegated more times than they finished in the top 5. Arsenal have never finished outside of the top 6 in my lifetime, as far as I'm aware. I may be slightly wrong about that.
Eighth once.
I knew I'd have been wrong once. I knew it. I knew as I said that I was like, I'm going to be wrong here. But you can't compare the two paths. It's like people who are comparing us to Manchester City. Manchester City have been multi-billionaires for like a big chunk of time now and have built and built and built on top of themselves year after year after year. Chelsea have built up and regressed, built up and regressed, built up and regressed year on year on year. We are still very much in a transitional period. You cannot expect us to sign Nick Waldemara, Wissa, Alanga, and Ramsey, and all of a sudden be absolutely, grabbing Arsenal by the jugular. Like that's not how science works.
You pick any game, Tina, and I'll beat you at it. So yes, I think I could beat you at any game within that period.
Tekken 8, Mortal Kombat 11, chess. I mean, I don't think there's a game on the planet you would beat me at.
In regards to this, can we quickly choose one midfield for the Man United game? So,
I haven't actually seen the chat, to be fair. I've been looking
what would your guys' midfield be? And while you're looking up, Tina, we've got a super chat there. We are knackered, mate. You're quite right. So, Win, what would your midfield be while Tina's looking up the chat?
I'm gonna go with because I'm still going 4-1-4-1. But if you want a midfield 3, it would be J7, Tonali, and Ramsey. Same as started against Everton.
Yeah. And if Ramsey isn't fit, so obviously he's still feeling from this bug, would you put Willock in?
Ramsey is fit, apparently.
He is fit. Oh, well, in which case that's the choice. Tina, have you got any differences in the chat? Because I think I kind of agree with Win, which makes us feel a bit sick.
Tonali, Willock, and Ramsey is what I'm seeing in the
Tonali,
chat.
Willock.
Tonali
Oh,
Willock
all
and
right,
Ramsey.
that's a chat. Right, sorry.
Yeah, no, I would go with J7, personally, but I'm here just giving the chat a voice. I'm the voice
Yeah,
to the
that's fine.
voiceless.
So you've got a couple of minutes left, guys. Who are the three that we're going to play up front? So right, left, and central striker. Who are the three we're going to play? Just while we're doing that, guys, we'll do a last question to use too. If we fail to win, is this a case of forgetting the league and going on into the cup competitions full pelt, or do you think we can still claw back in the league?
I
Win.
still think we can claw back in the league.
Even if we don't win?
Even if we don't win. I think we've got, I mean, the results aren't going well for us tonight, to be fair. But because the Mackhams are winning and Everton's winning. But I haven't totally given up at all. I think we could still have a tremendous season and bring it on. I think tomorrow night under the lights, let's give it large. We'll see how united we are tomorrow night. There you go.
Oh, perfect. And Tina, have you got a thought on that?
I mean, I totally get what you're saying. I get that if we lose tomorrow, then European positions are looking less and less likely. But I don't think this season you can take your foot off the gas in the Premier League, because then it could get very tragic. And I think the lower down the league we finish, the worse it's going to look for this season, and the more pressure that's going to be on Eddie Howe. So I would definitely say put more energy into the cups if it's keeps going wrong. But no, absolutely keep putting at least a good level of effort in the league still.
Thank you very much for the super chat there, I don't think it's appropriate to read out from the radio.
No. Goodness me.
But Mercury Dame, thank you, Mercury Dame celebrates 15 months of membership. Thank you.
Woo!
Lovely. So, guys, before the late night team get on, the one thing we've got to do is pick the front three. So,
and
Tina,
I've got the three from the chat is Shirab, Solano, and Robert. And then it's followed up by, what do you mean they're all retired? So we've got a bit of a...
I would love that.
I would love it. Barnes, Gordon, and Murphy is in there from Paul Sprague. I think we kind of pounced it on them a little bit late for them to get a lot of answers in there. I would probably...
Do you think we should do this in the order we are on screen? So I get to choose the left-sided striker. When you get the central striker, and Tina, you get the right-sided attacking player.
Do it. Go for it.
So we'll start with you, Tina. Right-sided attacker.
Alanga.
Ooh, good choice. Win, central striker.
Well, I'm with a team that's been picked, I'm going for Walter Marder, but I'm not playing him as a central striker.
Walter Marder. Trust you, mate, but Walter Marder. Let's just take a Walter Marder's ill, so that it makes it a bit easier.
Forget your showboaty. We're going rogue.
Yeah. Win just does what he wants, as always. Walter Marder's ill, mate, so you've got to pick somebody else to play up front. Go on.
Do we know for a fact he's ill? Because that's not what Eddie said this morning.
Let's not argue, because we've only got a minute left. So, yes, he's ill.
If he's not, Anthony Gordon.
Cool. Well, I'll go for Barnes on the left. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching the night, guys. You've been superb. Thank you very much for the super chats, everybody. We're now going on to the late team with Chris, Wynn, and the boys. So keep watching, stay on the stream, and thank you very much. We will see you the next time.
Have a good evening,
guys.
You are listening to NUFC Talk. listening to NUFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army. Live daily on the website, on YouTube, on the AB, and on every online radio directory. NUFC Talk, the voice of the Toon Army. Set up for maximum confrontation and super opinionated debates. The NUFC Late Night Show with Chris the American Man, Derek the Matey Wendy, and the rest of the panel, Monday through Thursday from 9:30 p.m. UK. NUFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army.
Hello everyone, welcome to NUFC Talk. We are live here on the Late Night Show with some current Newcastle United news. So don't forget to subscribe. Welcome if you are just joining us. Subscribe to the channel. Become a member if you can do that. Help the channel grow. And we do have a message here from a member. 50 months of membership from Mercury Dimes. Says play anyone but Willock. He is awful in my opinion. So thank you very much for being a member there. Mercury Dime for 15 months. Thank you to all the super chatters. If you haven't already done so, please remember you can super chat and highlight your comment if that's the case. And yeah, let's have a good chat. Let's have a good conversation. Ian Wynn, how are you? How are you, good. Wynn, after screwing the whole thing up? Anyway,
that's my job.
No, well, yeah, well, I know that you think that anyway. At least, Ian, how are you, mate?
I'm fine. I'm enjoying being drafted into this new Boki type role to keep Derek in check.
There you go. And don't forget that you can call us and have your say. Yeah, you can call us and have your say. 0191-916-8864. Call us now and have your say, ladies and gents, about the current topics.
Versus one. Happy clapper.
No, I'm a sensible fan. That's all I am. I'm neither or I'm on neither camp. But let's do a little bit of headlines of tonight's show. Of course, we're going to be talking about the Man United and Newcastle face-off tomorrow on the channel. You'll be able to enjoy the live match commentary, build-up, and everything else. We're going to talk about that, of course. There is a striker that Newcastle seem to be in talks about. We'll discuss a little bit about that, as well as Eddie Howe responding to Nagelsmann about his comments on Nick Voltemada. We're going to be talking about some injuries or potential illness from certain players. We're going to be also talking about Paul Merson as he gets confused about Newcastle United yet again. Let's see what we're going to see what he had to say. We're going to react to his opinion, of course. And there is a player that Newcastle and Sunderland are battling each other to acquire. We'll talk about him, as well as honorable mention to a young lad that we bought that's doing well in the academy. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but we're just going to mention it. So other than that, yeah, smash that like button, folks. Please help us out. So, all right then. So we got Man United tomorrow at St. James's Park. That's going to be a nice matchup, I guess you would assume. And when you're doing your usual happy clapping, you said that we can beat them and all that crap, and that we're going to, and you know, it's supposed to just trying to be objective and bring some analysis into the situation. You're definitely not doing that at all, because clearly Man United are in better form in the last few weeks than we are.
Honest.
So
I hadn't realised that. They've got 5 wins in 6. We've got 5 losses in 6. And they are in the better
why don't
form.
you
Slap my thigh.
So why wouldn't you bring that up as opposed to just saying that we're gonna win just for the sake of it? How come you bring some proper analysis into the situation? Nobody, neither Christina or Boki, take you to task on you talking rubbish. So based on everything, they are showing up to St. James's Park in a much better form than us, but you still just keep saying the same stuff over and over like clockwork.
What I'm saying is they've had their new manager bounce. Let's hope there's some air coming out the balloon by now, because it doesn't last forever. I'm saying St. James's Park under the lights is a different prospect to any other time. As I've just said, if you'd been listening, we've won 18 out of 20 games, 18 out of 20 Prem games
Yeah, Man United have been
under
rubbish.
the
They're not now.
lights midweek.
Oh, so the stat is under the lights midweek. That's the stat.
Under the lights midweek, 18 out of
Wait.
20.
What is this rubbish, man? So we play them on the weekend. So we play them on the weekend. So we play them on the weekend. We got to be scared of them. We play them on the weekend. We got to be scared of them. But we play them midweek. We'll be fine. We'll beat them.
3 out of 3 against Man U.
Love
last
it.
3 times we played them.
Jesus,
Go on.
Insane.
I get where you're coming from, Win. It's I'm hopeful about
And it's
tomorrow
Man
night because
United
of the
and we're
record.
up for them.
But I think Newcastle are thriving in chaos when they can actually get to do some pressing and make it a basketball match, which is disorganisation on both sides, isn't it? So I'm hopeful that we can get a match like that under the lights. The crowd are up for it. It's Man U. We've got a good record against Man U. Even Steve Bruce beat Man U. With a long
So
so we're good at home
you're not
against
speaking
them.
much then.
But they are in super form, and we're not. I think we've got to play the players in the right position so they've got a clue where everybody else is. If we shuffle
Right.
around like we did against Everton, it will be chaos again. I mean, I know Eddie Howe spotted that after half an hour and changed it back, so he shouldn't repeat that. But yeah, I mean, everyone with a sensible head will say it's an away win. But I mean, I'm hopeful that we will do them.
Now, but how? What are we gonna do with the unbelievable stat that he brought up that just shook the world about under the lights? The quote "under the lights." How? What type of? Can we put a pattern on the lights that we have at St. James's Park? Because all of a sudden that means that we win. So can we put a patent on it and start selling it abroad? Not in the Premier League because everybody doesn't start winning. But I'm talking about abroad. Can we put a patent on the lights that we put at St. James's Park that makes the opposition lose games? Because you brought up the stat about under the lights. So because we win games under the lights all of a sudden. So can we? How much can we get for a sponsorship for that? Can we get some money in for under the light? The under the lights that we have.
Talking your usual nonsense, aren't you? I'm just saying statistically, it's a fact.
So what do you attribute that to? To the lights? That's what you attribute that to, or what do you attribute?
No, it's to do with the atmosphere.
I think it's to do with the team's mental state as well. If they have
maybe
got
so,
that stat in
maybe
their head,
so, Ian.
that will be a game that they will go into believing that they can win, as opposed to an away match on a Saturday afternoon at Manchester United or Manchester City or Arsenal, which we usually roll over and get stuffed with. So that when we end up with this long run of not winning away from home, it continues because in their head they're never going to win when they're playing away from home. This stat about us playing on a midweek game in the Premier League at home, there is a special atmosphere on it, and we have got a fantastic record doing that.
Yeah, but that's how we at home this season we've been rubbish, man. So what is it matters nothing anymore. It's about what team turns up and show up to actually play. The light, the fog, the cold, none of that matters anymore, man. This season, we've given up so many points at home. We just did it against Everton. So we can't use that and say that home, we win it, honky-dory, everything is great.
That was a 3 o'clock kickoff.
And so what happens at 3 o'clock? Which is...
Well, what I'm saying, are you not listening to what I'm saying? Under the lights.
Yeah, I know. So you're saying at night we win. So we're just like we're vampires. We just turn up at night.
The atmosphere is different.
And how about every other game that we've lost under the lights?
Right. So Liverpool this season under the lights, we got beat.
Played well.
Was that what was that? Did we play well that night, or did we play well? We played
Once you've given them
brilliantly.
a 2-goal start.
2-goal start, man sent off, and we still nearly beat them. Barcelona. We're beating Barcelona Under the Lights. They're the
Got a
two games.
consolation at the end, I reckon.
One of them's a Champions League game, fair enough. But the,
So you're first. We should be talking about real stuff, like how we're gonna beat Man United. Really, the real stuff that actually happens. Not talking about lights and electrical work and all that crap, right? But you're just gonna attribute that to the Premier League. So what happens with Champions League under the lights? Different lights, different electrical work. What's happening, man? Why do we have to talk about these abstract situations? Let's talk about how we win.
Under the Lights will beat Benfica, beat PSV, beat Karabakh.
Karabakh. You're going to bring Karabakh into the conversation. Yeah. Karabakh, man.
You've got to
Where people were whinging about the atmosphere, by the way, just to let you know, people were whinging about the atmosphere in Karabakh, by the way. Just letting you know that. So what difference did it make?
For 10 minutes.
The atmosphere was down against Karabakh because we're winning 6-1, man.
You see what I'm saying?
There was no urgency. I'm talking about Premier League. Lost 2-20.
I was there last year when we lost 2-0 at home to West Ham on a bloody Wednesday.
That was it. They were the two games, Liverpool and West Ham.
And so, to me, so that's it then. We are going to play under the lights. So there you go. Game's over, right? What do we talk about now?
I'm not saying the game's over.
So what are you saying?
What I'm saying is that under the lights,
in jail again,
midweek.
No, I'm putting in jail. This is rubbish,
our record is PDG.
It is a special atmosphere. It will.
Yeah, the atmosphere is fine.
With it being Man United, everybody will be up for it anyway, because every Geordie hates Man United.
We did do a similar thing when we came back after the last international break, and it was Man City under the lights, and nobody really gave us a prayer after how we'd finished before the international break, and we beat them 2-1. We played very well that night. We're a bloody inconsistent team, though. If the ball runs,
that's the problem, man.
Actually,
that's their real problem.
The ball into the net, and we take the lead, then it can be a fantastic night. We're capable of it. We're just so bloody inconsistent, though.
That's the problem. That's what we need to be talking about instead of talking about all these other abstract things that have no impact on anything, man.
But they do have an impact.
No, they don't. Because if they're not bouncing, if they're bouncing up and down, and the team doesn't give them anything, it doesn't do anything, man. It does. The fans need the feed of the team.
Yeah, okay.
That thing only lasts the first 10 minutes.
But the fact is that it does do something.
Oh, it doesn't. Many times when we're losing and when we are having a bad game,
Liverpool,
the fans turn off. The fans turn. And what happened with that atmosphere? A Bayern beat us at the end, man. So what are you talking about? The atmosphere is there.
So what I'm
Players
talking
got to
about
focus about something else.
Players
have to focus about something else.
Down with 10 men.
And we lost the game. What are you talking about? What does that mean?
We lost the game because we were pressing for the winner when there was 50,000 cheering for the 11 minutes that came up.
So that didn't work then. The atmosphere didn't work. You're talking in loops, man. The fans are good. They need to go out there and support the team as they should. Eddie Howe and the players. No. Eddie Howe and the team need to worry about completely something different. How to beat Man United that are coming to St. James's Park hungry, and this manager that wants to beat us. Simple. How are we going to beat them? Especially now that we're not going to have Voltemata more than likely with a bug. And it's going to be, I don't know what's going on with Ramsey. I don't know if he had a bug or what was going on. He got sick. I'm not sure what Eddie Howe said this morning.
Apparently Ramsey's fit, and I haven't heard that Voltemata's not fit yet.
Well, no, I've heard Eddie Howe mention it, that Voltemata's got a bug.
No,
he hasn't trained since the weekend.
We're checking on him tomorrow.
There was no activity from Voltemata since the game on the weekend. That leads me to believe he's not going to play. He has not played. He has not done anything since the weekend. So that leads me to believe it's a high probability that he's not going to play.
Well, we'll
so Anyway, but either way, he's not going to play where he should play. So Eddie Howe can't keep doing what he's doing right now and playing players out of position. He can't do that. That's not.
Says you.
It's not. Of course, it says me and every other sensible fan that can see straight in front of him. It hasn't worked. It's not working. Switching all these players to different positions, it didn't work. Clearly didn't work.
Hang on. Who's all the players he switched to different positions?
Joe Linton, Voltemara, Gordon.
Right. So that's one change.
How's that one
Gordon
change?
Voltemara is one change. Joey Linton Ramsey, if you argue that, is another change.
What?
It's two changes. What's all
three
these
changes.
changes?
3 changes on Saturday. Played the winger at centre forward, played the centre forward in midfield, played the midfielder on the left wing. That's 3 players out of position.
Yeah, but it's 2 of them
For
swapped.
just over half an hour. There can't be 2. It's 3 swapping between them. It's like a round robin. They all swap. If Voltemara's ill, I'm happy with Gordon to keep going at centre forward because, you know, that's that pace that we saw work against City for large parts of that match that we lost. But then that means we play 3 midfielders in midfield. Joey, Toon Army and Ramsey, hopefully.
Yeah, I think that's what will happen.
We got a caller now, Robert, calling us right now, live on NUFC Talk Radio and on TV on YouTube. Robert, how are you, buddy?
Not bad, guys. Not bad. Enjoying the show.
And where are you calling us from?
From London. I spoke to you before.
From London, yeah, I kind of remember it was. Yeah. From London.
I think it's London.
So how's it going? What would you like to say? You obviously agree with me and not the mighty Numpty, but it's all right.
I honestly believe that tomorrow's game we should make several changes to the squad. Me personally,
like rotate.
I would drop Pope for Ramsdale because what Pope did was unforgivable.
Wow. Yeah.
I personally would drop Walter Maida for Wissa.
Well, if Wissa's fit.
And I would drop Gordon for Barnes and play a 4-2-3-1 against United tomorrow.
Well, the Ramsdale, I mean, the goalkeeper situation is something to talk about, to be fair, because that is, it is, I mean, but he's not going to do it, though. He has never changed Pope. Never. He's one of the favorites.
He changed Pope when he got when Pope got injured in the.
Well, there you go. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, 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 Robert. You answered my question. He was hurt.
He changed Pope after the Marseille game as well.
Because he was hurt, man. That's the.
No,
because
that's the same time.
He was hurt. Gordon was allegedly hurt after we were 3-0 down against Man City. He held one calf and then he held the right calf. One held the left and then the right.
Against the Marseille game.
I'm on about
Pope.
Pope.
Yeah, hold on. We're going to fact check this because this is factual, right? Nick Pope, after his cook-up against Marseille, didn't play. Here, we thought he didn't play because of a decision. No, he didn't play because he got an injury, quote unquote. So he didn't play for a while, and Ramsdale play. And then when Pope was fit to play, he came back again. Let's not lie to fans here just because things like 2 months ago, people are going to forget. No, Eddie Howe has never substituted Nick Pope based on his decision. He has done that because of an injury.
Did we not on this very same show?
Exactly.
After the Marseille game, have you arguing that Nick Pope wasn't injured?
Right? Yeah.
Right. And yet he dropped him.
But if we want to be a successful team, if we want to compete,
you were arguing he wasn't
with the Man
injured.
Cities, with the Arsenal, we need to in the summer go and get a new number 1, a new striker. We need to put investment in this squad.
Yeah, well,
we've got one of the best fan bases in the UK, and we're relying on Nick Pope and Kieran Trippier. We're relying on aging players in games. The teams who play against, our players have made mistakes against. Gordon made a mistake against Everton. Pope made a horrific mistake.
Well, listen, I'm not saying that he shouldn't be subbed off. I'm telling you it's not going to happen because of the managers. He just doesn't do it. He doesn't do it.
And this is why I said before when I called in last time, I'm still Eddie Howe out even now. Because, yes, what he did for us was great, but we need to move on with the times. We need to bring a new manager in, and a manager who will say to Nick Pope, you know what, you messed up. You lost your place for this game. You need to prove to me in training that you should get it back. Hell, that's just my opinion. I'm just from London, and yeah, that's just my opinion, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Doesn't matter where you're from.
It's your opinion. It's your opinion. It's fair enough.
I absolutely agree. If it was up to me, I'd be starting Ramsdale tomorrow.
But
I don't think there's a cigarette paper between the two of them. But you've got to be in a situation where if
Ramsdale has not cost you games though.
If any player has a stinker, he gets replaced.
No, that's not.
I mean, me personally, Wissa should play up front, and you should say to Wissa, go out there and prove to me you want to wear the legendary number 9. The number 9. We all saw what Alan Shearer did for our club. We all saw what I can't even say this. What Isaac did for our club, and Isaac wore number 14. Go out there and prove to me you want to wear the number 9. Yeah, because if it's true what they're saying about the slight sickness that's going around, that's why I'll play a 4-2-3-1 tomorrow. Bruno, Tonali and Joe Linton in the 2. Gordon, Murphy, Barnes, Ramsey or Langren like the 10. And you say to Wissa, go out there and prove it. Go out there and prove it. Malik Charles done nothing wrong in my opinion. Dan Burn, he's been decent for us. I'm not going to lie. Lewis Hall's been our most creative player, and Kieran Trippier we need to replace in summer. But I can live with Trippier until the summer. And Nick Pope, in the summer we should replace Nick Pope. I'm not going to lie to you guys. That's just my opinion.
You wouldn't be tempted to place your heart right back.
That's that kid, isn't it? The youngster.
Yeah.
Not in a game against United. Not when.
No.
We've all seen United fans online, on Twitter, on YouTube, literally slating our club, and I wouldn't play that. Not in that high pressure game. Not in that game. Not in this game. I wouldn't.
I agree.
Tell you what,
because Man United have literally said to us, and I listened to saying earlier on that they've got our front three at their club, and they want to play their front three against us tomorrow at their club. And that's my opinion. But you know what, guys? I've enjoyed the show. I'm going to continue. I'm going to call in when I can. But I enjoyed the show, guys, and I'll speak to you guys soon.
Take care, mate.
Thanks,
Take
Robert.
care. Have a good one.
Thanks.
There you go. Call us now and have your say, folks. 0191-916-8864. Ian.
I would play Sahar ahead of Murphy at right back, because there's another player playing out of position that was playing right back for at least part of the time. I think he scored his equaliser filling in at right back, didn't he, in the 80th minute against Everton? I don't know why Murphy's playing right back. He's meant to be a winger, and he's bloody rubbish at that this season. I know we haven't got a big enough squad to leave people out indefinitely, but if he could, he would be somebody I would be leaving out indefinitely.
Well, what I just want to continue, because it amazes me a little bit when people just want to lie. So, like, why do you want to just lie to people, man? Like, what do you gain from lying about Pope?
What am I lying about this time?
And lying about Pope. Pope was never substituted because of anything he did. He was hurt. He was injured. He has never replaced Pope.
It was an injury of convenience, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
you are agreeing with that?
No, I'm saying that on the show at the time you were saying he wasn't injured.
Yeah, because that was my opinion. But and then he was out, Ian, for I think almost a month, and I'm like, well, that can't be a convenient injury because what's the point? You know what I mean? It's only
because Ramsdale came in and we saw the benefit of having a goalkeeper who could play with the feet. We could start our attacks 10, 15 yards up the pitch, so we were more attacking. But a few games when Ramsdale was in, I think it was the Tottenham game, wasn't it, when Ramsdale went down in slow motion and let that ridiculous overhead kick dribble across the line. That's what lost him his position afterwards.
Yeah, and it shouldn't have, to be honest, because at that point, if you count that as an error, which I don't, but if you count that as an error, there were many other, just like, by the way, Mighty Wayne defending Pope yesterday because other players should have done more, which I think that's wrong. In that particular play against Tottenham, other players literally with that little slow hopper could have done better at also trying to reach that ball and poke it somewhere else. It beat everybody.
I agree.
Now, but that shouldn't have been. That's the first mistake, if you want to call that a mistake. You can't. At the time, Pope had lost us 9 points. In bad mistakes. I remember that. Imagine what it is now, that count. So you can't sub a guy out because he makes one mistake. So that's where I'm at when it comes to Ramsey. But you were saying, Ian?
Well, what I'm saying is, when he dropped Pope, after the Marseille game, we went on to beat Everton 4-1.
Oh my
God! We were 2-0 up against Spurs. We beat Burnley 2-1. And we drew 2-2 against Leverkusen.
Hey, what the heck does that mean? Did he score a winner?
When Ramsdale...
No, man. Listen, I have an allergy, an allergic reaction to nonsense, man. So you giving me now, you have Leverkusen, Everton, all these teams that we beat, and then you put Pope as the common denominator. Explain, please, what did Pope do for us to win those games? Did he score a winner? What did he do?
Is the reason Pope went out was because he was dropped and had an injury of convenience. And then when Ramsdale came in, we won 3 games. We were 2-0 up in the other one, threw it away against Spurs. We beat Burnley, drew against Leverkusen, and arguably you can blame Ramsdale for one of those goals. So then he was dropped and Pope came back for Sunderland.
And what happened against Sunderland?
Pope came back and we got beat.
Come on, man. This is criminal, man. This is criminal. Ian, you can't allow Ian, I'm telling you, man, when somebody talks this much crap next to you, man, you got to move over, dude. You're stinking up the placement. Because come on.
But Chris, I think he's agreeing with you, mate. I think he's agreeing.
No, he's not.
That Pope couldn't get his place back because Ramsdale played okay and we had some good results. So it was only first opportunity, mind, when that last minute equaliser at Leverkusen went in, that Pope got swapped out. To be fair, I don't blame Pope for not tipping the Voltemada own goal over the bar at Sunderland. That was that was the best header we've faced all season.
Yeah, but that's why when I say what happened against Sunderland, and because Pope was there, right? It's the same. It sounds.
I don't know.
It sounds the same as you telling me, or not you, but him telling me that we beat Leverkusen because Pope was there. It makes no sense. You have to give context.
Ramsdale got beat.
We have to give context.
Ramsdale came in, kept his place through the results and performances, and then when he dropped a bollock against Leverkusen in the 88th minute, then he was dropped and Pope came in for Sunderland. And you're saying Eddie picks Pope regardless. Regardless.
Well, he does. He has never substituted. And admit it, man. He has never substituted him out. He only played Ramsdale against Man City away in the cup that they beat us in. Because you're supposed to give the other keeper a chance in the cups, so on and so forth. He doesn't switch because Ramsdale has zero chance of being Newcastle's number one. Let's be honest here. Come on, man. And I'm not even saying that Ramsdale. I'm not saying that Ramsdale's better than Pope, or Pope is better than Ramsdale. I'm just saying.
There's no chance at all that Ramsdale starts tomorrow night.
No.
I hope he does. I think he should get.
I hope he does. Nothing he will.
But we've had, the thing is, it's mind-boggling because we have these conversations all the time, man. Every week when he makes a mistake. And he never changes. So he never makes that change. He never says, you know what, you've screwed up, so I'm going to put you on the bench. He's never done that. He's only scapegoated Tonali, and then he understands that Tonali can't do that again. Tony calling us now. Tony, how are you?
Yeah, hunky-dory, mate.
Hey,
there you go. So
hunky-dory, mate. He's got a Cockney accent.
I thought the mate it was Australian. So the two Aussies say that mate. But anyway, Tony, what you got to say, bro?
Yeah,
bring some sense into this nonsense, man.
Was saying it. Pope didn't play against Sunderland. Ramsdale did.
Ooh, that's why you can never take mighty wins. Facts, it's fact. They're just somewhere in between.
I remember saying to my brother, if Pope was in goal, he probably wouldn't have been lobbed because obviously Pope's a giant.
Win. I swear, man, we're gonna get sued for so much money one of these days. I'm telling you, because he never fact checks anything, dude. Anything.
I rely on my memory.
Yeah, well, that ain't good. Don't. We're going to be in prison for real.
Never rely on your memory. Get you in trouble.
Yeah, man, Reese. Anyways, but regardless, what do you think should happen? Pope should play tomorrow or not?
I'll be honest, I don't think it, because we did see when Ramsdale was in, there wasn't much of a difference. Apart from people saying he was slightly better with his feet, we were still conceding daft goals. But personally, I don't think it's down to the keepers wholly like everyone seems to think. I think I looked up the stats the other day. We are the 7th highest for shots conceded this season, which shows our defence is lacking considering we're supposed to be a top 5 team. When you're conceding the 7th most amount of shots, you're probably going to be conceding the 7th most amount of goals, which puts you lower half of the table automatically.
Interesting.
With that, that's when I think you can't just keep thinking, because it's like, I do like certain players that use all sort of, I'm trying to think of a PC word to say, congratulate just for existing on the pitch. But personally, even though I like Paul and that, defensively, I think they leave us wanting.
Well, again, I don't necessarily think that we have this massive goalkeeper problem. And by the way, people are trying to call in, but just give us a second. Everybody's going to have a
goalkeeping problem, but what did you expect for 9 million? You're not going to get Champions League quality for £9 million.
Well, what do you expect from a loan? What do you expect from a loan?
There's a reason no top club wants Ramsdale, and it isn't because he's top quality.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's. I would agree with you. I mean, I actually criticize the fact that we have somebody like him for 125K a week. It's not good enough, Ian?
That's just it. Well, like most of our things,
him on loan
desperation.
Because that was like a season-long audition. Yes, you're paying for his wages, but you're not paying the 25.
Who's this? Sorry,
Ian. This is Ian.
Who's he talking about? He's talking about, because I wasn't sure.
He's talking about. He's talking about Ramsdale. Well, he's saying that it's a nice gamble because you don't pay for the fee, you pay for the salary only, and then he can go back. But
we did pay a fee, didn't we? Of like $4 million.
We paid like $4 million, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're going to start saying that we needed to win Champions League games because it would get you $1.5 million. Then you can't say $4 million is nothing.
There you go, man. I like that. Yes, some critical thinking, man. That's what I ask from people. Critical. Use your head, man. Don't say we'd win because Pope is there. Come on, man. It makes no sense, man. Can you help win? Can you have some coaching with him, Tony?
I personally don't think Pope is good enough, but there's been a question for anyone who keeps saying about all these places we need to sort of replace next season. How much are you putting on trying to replace a keeper? How much money do you think we have generally to put on a keeper? Because I don't think the money's there, personally.
Well, I think we got money.
Not if you want to strengthen everywhere else.
And forwards.
The thing is, man, we have this.
I think Ian's definitely on your side. Ian thinks keeper is a priority, and I don't.
Picked that on Thursday. That was
I don't think. I think Pope needs replacing. I just don't think the money's there. Because when last couple of games, as a striker actually scored for us in the Premier League in recent games, it seems to be we're constantly dependent on other players around it, the sort of main striker, which is not good enough. And it's not a Walter Maid a hate on or anything, because it's not just Walter Maid. That also counts for Gordon when he was up front. It counts for Wissa, who just doesn't seem to exist, or anyone else in between.
I think that we have money. I think that we won't spend it on a goalkeeper, and I also think that we go around these have these same conversations every year, man. We need this, we need that, we need that, and no matter how much we spend, 250 million, we're still talking about the same positions all the time. Well, we don't say we need a right wing anymore. That was the talk of the town. But do we not need a right wing anymore? Because Ilanga is there, but he's not really done much. We have to see.
Everyone's still on the thing of saying that what's his name, Murphy is a championship player at best. Well, we needed a replacement there anyway, just to replace the replacement. Because if Murphy's surely looking like he's on his way out if he's not going to be trusted. Alanga obviously already doesn't look like he's being trusted, especially if Eddie Howe leaves, because no one's going to come in and go, oh, Alanga's the guy. He's going to want rid.
Yeah. Do you believe that, before we let you go, do you believe that Pope will play, or do you think that Eddie Howe will switch Ramsdale for Pope?
The only reason he will is if he lets the fan, because I don't think he will if it's off his own back. If he gets pressured by basically outside noise, then he will.
I agree 100% with you, man. See, but only one person here doesn't believe that. Isn't it crazy? Anyway, Tony, look forward to seeing you in the chat, mate. Take care.
Real quick, Win, what did you think of the stadium?
I tried Miley. And
go on, Tony. Go ahead. What?
Win, what did you think of the stadium that I showed you?
I thought it was absolutely fan-dabby-dozy. Was that yours?
It's not the perfect, but I tried to go for the pillars and all that. Sorry, the sort of towers. But yeah, there you go.
We don't want to get it. We don't want to get into what you and Tony talk in private messages, man. Do you guys leave us?
No, I put this on the chat. I put it as a super chat.
Yeah.
Obviously, you couldn't look at it on the day.
We couldn't look at it.
I'll get it up now for you, Tony.
That's why you got to join.
That's what she said.
That's poor. That's really poor.
Hey, man. That's good. That's good. Tony, talk to you soon, mate. Talk to you soon. You got to join the WhatsApp group, though. That's why. You join the WhatsApp group. You can share everything you want. See you, man.
Can I draw attention to the fact that Wolves will lead Liverpool, but Liverpool, of course, got that late goal. But Wolves have scored again. They're leading 2-1 now.
Yeah, 2-1 to Wolves now.
I called that this evening. I said Wolves would win this.
There you go, actually.
Draw, but, you know.
And as we are on that, ladies and gents, we got to update you on the Premier League results of today. Everton beaten Burnley 2-0. Bournemouth 0-0 with Brentford. And then you got Leeds against the Mackems. 1-0, the Mackems beating Leeds. Wolves and Liverpool are up, as Ian was saying, against Liverpool in the 95th minute, ladies and gents. Arnie is on the ropes as well. And of course, tomorrow you got Brighton Arsenal. Keep an eye on that. Man City, Forest, Fulham, West Ham, Villa, Chelsea, Tottenham, Crystal Palace, and of course Newcastle United against Man United at St. James's Park. You'll be able to enjoy that one 2 hours and a half before kickoff. Live coverage here on NUFC Talk TV. And if you can't watch, you can listen to us live on NUFCTalkRadio.com, on DAB in Newcastle and Gateshead, and on every online radio directory, as well as your smart speaker, ladies and gents. All you got to do is say, you know her name because I can't say it because she's right here. Play NUFC Talk Radio, and everything is honky-dory. We got a caller now from the Midlands, Yinks. Calling us. Yinks, how are you, buddy?
Oh, Yinks.
I'm all right, lads. Hope you're doing well. Long time no here, man.
Long time, man. Stop acting like a stranger, man. You know what I mean?
I'm just here to chime in on the whole Pope situation, just to add my few pence.
What do you think?
Yeah, I want to take us back to last season. We went on a 9-game run or whatever. Who was injured?
Who
was our goalkeeper during that period?
Ramsdale for 7 of them, I think.
Dubravka.
Last year was the Dubravka.
Oh, there you go. The Dubravka. Oh, yeah, of course it was. Fool, you're knackered, man.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, and during that time we went on our best run, which was the main reason why we got Champions League football. I'm not like against Pope in honesty. I don't really like. I think where we are, where we're at when it comes to goalkeeping. So but again, it's just the issue that we currently face as a squad is just the favoritism. It's gone too far, and that's what's like. We could spend 500 million if Eddie Howe doesn't change his perspective when it comes to his loyalty with particular players. We're not going to get far in any way, shape, or form. It's hindering the squad. It's hindering our progression, and it's something that we keep seeing on a regular basis. End of the day, like the whole Ramsdale situation, I thought he would have been a better or a decent replacement for Pope, but for me, he's not. I still think Pope is a better keeper than Ramsdale. Just that Pope is not as good with his feet, but essentially, like I'm ready for us to finish below the top 10. I don't think we're going to get Europe. I think we're lying to ourselves. I think tomorrow's game, most likely we're going to lose. Not to be pessimistic, but the way that the flaws in our team is just perfect for a team like Man United to take advantage of. And we've become Gordon FC, and this is what happens when you build your team around Anthony Gordon.
Gordon FC. Look at all those shots
Not
fired.
to be
from
pessimistic, but we're going to get beat. There's Dixie for you.
That's the sensible call.
Yeah, it's the truth.
That's the sensible call.
That's for me. Sorry?
The sensible call, says Ian. So instead of throwing ad hominems at fans and criticizing fans, why don't you explain why you think we're going to beat Man United? Because he eloquently explained why Man United might beat us. So why is opposed to throwing attacks, personal attacks at the fans? Why can't you explain your case?
Man United might beat us.
Yeah, but he explained his case.
We might beat Man United.
No. He explained his case of why he thinks Man United.
He's saying we are Anthony Gordon FC, and I completely disagree with that.
Why do you disagree?
Okay. Can I have a chance to push you back when pertaining to it?
Yeah.
Anthony Gordon, Eddie Howe said it with his own mouth. I didn't force Eddie Howe to say this. That the reason why he keeps Gordon on the left is because and he doesn't put Gordon on the right because Gordon, quote unquote, doesn't want to play on the right, and Barnes is more susceptible to embrace to play on the right. Am I right in saying that?
No, you're wrong. What Eddie Howe said in the press conference was Anthony Gordon doesn't enjoy, not that he wouldn't play, doesn't enjoy playing on the right.
So he plays him on the left instead.
So I think it's better for the team, more effective for the team, for to play Gordon where we get the best out of him on the left and play Barnes on the right. Or anybody else on the right.
Well, because he doesn't like playing on the
left this season. Gordon or Barnes? Who's played better on the left this season, Gordon or Barnes?
Well, if you're gonna go from stats, you could argue Barnes just maybe. But in
Barnes
terms
has
of
played regularly on the left, Gordon hasn't. Gordon's played centre forward more regularly
as the manager
than on the left.
Of a European squad that is quote unquote ambitious, wouldn't you test your best player or the players in form are the ones that get the start, not based upon whose potential is better if they're England international or not. This is the problem, hence why I said Gordon FC. I can back it up. We're playing Gordon up front in order to inflate his quote unquote his ego to a degree. I've been hearing people say Gordon's our best striker.
The reason we're playing Gordon up front is because he leads the press.
We put Altamada in midfield to cater to Gordon, for Gordon to play up front and play the position he wants to play. Like, we are Gordon FC, bro.
Well, I disagree with you. I don't think we are Gordon FC.
Okay, cool. Please, bring your argument forward.
He ain't got that, man. That's the problem.
Well, no. What I'm saying is that Gordon prefers playing on the left, but when asked to, he plays in the middle. And Eddie Howe thinks it's better.
What is better for Newcastle United as a team?
Well, from what I've seen, we're better off playing Anthony Gordon up front than Nick Walter up front.
Based on what? Beating Karabag? Get it out of here, man. That's what I'm saying, man. No basis.
Based on what
this
we've
is where
seen,
I get to the point where
since-
because it's just unfair now. It's getting unfair now. Like, come on, let's be fair. Let's go based off stats and let's go based on what we've seen. We've seen this experiment with Gordon on a plethora of different times. I've always said that Anthony Gordon is Eddie Howe's pet project. And this season was obvious that he's building it a base. The squad has been built based upon his favourites and mainly based upon Gordon's ego to a degree as well. Essentially, it seems as if we just want to inflate his stats.
Completely disagree with your premise. I think Eddie Howe does what's best for the team.
Well, listen, which could be a
playing Walter Mata up
because...
front for 23 games with 3 goals didn't work.
How has playing Gordon?
Else.
Hold on, excuse me. How has playing Gordon at front in the 4-3-3 as a center forward have worked for us?
Well, in the last prior to Saturday, previous games, scored 11 goals.
No. Listen to me, man. Because 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 or even playing as a center forward have nothing to do with penalties. And a goalkeeper can take penalties. So that is irrelevant to the question. Playing as a center forward, taking penalties away from
the team. I'm not
in the 4-3-3, how many goals has Gordon scored? We have here labeled him as the worst center forward he can possibly ever be because he missed sitters. He swung and missed. That's how bad he's been, right? So, literally, it's insane. One in particular against Barcelona. Are we going to make the same mistake against Barcelona again, by the way? So, again, on the 4-3-3, he's been absolutely rubbish as a center forward playing for us. In the 4-2-3-1, in those 2 particular games against Aston Villa and Karabakh, he did well.
4 particular games.
In those 2 particular games.
4
That's
particular
it.
games.
That is it.
Villa away, Spurs away.
Right, Spurs away.
Villa away. Villa away. He didn't. Gordon didn't start Villa away, so win. Stop it. Gordon didn't start Villa away.
Oh, he didn't, did he? That's exactly why I didn't. Exactly, man.
Stop the narrative. See, a lot of the British fans, are causing these narratives, creating false narratives for Gordon because of the England international. We need to stop that as a fan club because you're creating narratives now. This has got to stop. You're creating narratives. Is Gordon a good player? Yes, he's a phenomenal player. I'm not here to argue that. Has Gordon been a good player for Newcastle for the past 2 years? Hell to the no. Does Gordon have a fat ego? Yes. Does Eddie Howe placate to that ego? Hell to the yes. The only reason why Gordon hasn't done well in the past 2 years is because teams have developed a tactic against Eddie Howe. That quote-unquote low block.
And by the way, Yinks,
it works.
Yinks, you're wrong, though, because Gordon did start against Tottenham.
Yeah,
so you're wrong in that.
No, I said no. Aston Villa, not Tottenham. Aston Villa away against Aston Villa away. Gordon didn't start in the FA Cup.
That's true. Actually, you're right. You're 100%. Actually, about that, you're 100%. Get in, Yinks.
No worry.
Anyway,
I'll try to come with at least as much facts as possible. I like to see myself as a football connoisseur. I've watched it more time. I've seen a plethora of different games. But one thing, if we watch against our losses against Everton at home, Brentford at home, and Aston Villa at home, we had more possession. Teams know how to play against Eddie Howe's system. Hence why we can't get the best out of Gordon, because Gordon doesn't know how to get himself out of these quote-unquote low blocks. And he's a very transitional player. All he wants is space behind so he can run into. However, no one's given us that luxury of that space. So again, he's not as in terms of pressing the team, he's very good. I'm not going to argue that. But he doesn't bring anything outside, or he can't bring anything to the game if there's no pace involved. He's not very technical in any way, shape, or form. So again, teams they know how to play against players like Gordon, hence why he's done so poor in the Premier League.
Well,
another player who also had to deal with that and flourishing in Barcelona is Rashford as well.
He's not exactly. Listen, he's not a good center forward, man. The narrative, how he switches from fans, is incredible to me. You know, he's the solution. He's the new Isak, the pressing and all that. 2 games, man. Calm your tits. Relax, man. It's not that.
And when I watch
relaxed.
Watermada play, to be fair to Watermada, he's not been the greatest, but he doesn't get great service. I do agree that his hold-up play is crap, but I also would argue that these referees, I've seen a lot of fouls that he still got, and the referees don't call it. But again, it's subjective, each their own. But I also would say that he doesn't get a lot of
we just have to play
assists from anyone.
Why not try the 4-2-3-1 with him as center forward and somebody behind in the playoff? It's not that hard, man. Try it. You see what I'm saying?
Eddie Howe needs to go. Eddie Howe doesn't know what he's doing no more, man. He just needs to go. And he's been found out. But if you give him another 500 million, we're still going to be in the same place. He's been found out. He doesn't know any other system. He doesn't know what to do. And teams have found him out. Like, how the hell can we have the more possession against Aston Villa, Brentford, and Everton, and we lose we lose the game?
Yeah, that's interesting.
He's been found out.
Hey, that's his opinion, ladies and
They
gentlemen.
finished.
Yanks.
Aston Villa. We were getting beat 1-0 when Anthony Gordon came on, and we won 3-1. There you go.
Oh, okay. It's the same thing as why we beat Leverkusen and PSV and everybody because
No.
thing.
See, this is what I mean about the British fans, and this is we need to stop this. Put it into context. Aston Villa, we were losing 1-0, and they got a red card, and then we won 3-1. Remember, the keeper got sent off at half time.
Yeah. And we're still doing nothing.
So let's stop building. Let's stop building these narratives like Gordon comes and saves the day. Like Bruno Ramirez saves us. It's someone that saves us. I agree, but Gordon doesn't come and save us. Gordon is a good football player. I'm not negating it, but he's not. He's not a world class footballer. He's not that good that we should play him up front now or playing where that we don't need Gordon.
Anyway,
I would argue we don't need Gordon. For example, if I could get 90 million for Gordon, I'd flog him tomorrow.
I'll take less. I can't lie, but that's my opinion. Innit? But anyway, lads,
with friends like you, I hate to be your enemy if you're Gordon's friend. But anyways, Yanks, thank you for calling us, mate. Thank you. Have a good one.
Have a
cheers.
That
was Yanks there. Call us and have your say, folks. 0191-916-8864.
2-6 for Tony. That was Tony's St. James's Park variation. I love that.
That's lovely. That's a proper.
That was Tony's AI. Fantastic, isn't it?
Shout out to War Captain Bruno. Free win before I lose my mind. There you go, buddy. Thank you very much. And now we got Sean. Is that your name?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Sean from County Durham. Is that right?
That's correct.
And are we talking about County Durham on the, on the proper side or
where you from, Tony?
County Durham.
On the proper side. Concert. There you go.
Concert. Well, that's there you go.
That's it. We're still on the good side.
That's
Sean,
about 60-40.
I've been to County Durham, Sean, and you ever been to the cathedral?
Yeah, it's all right, yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean it's all right, man? What's the matter with you? It's a cathedral, man. You have some shame when you speak of a cathedral, man. Come on, man. Anyways.
I think it's a beautiful one.
It's exactly. Beautiful one.
You couldn't wait to get out.
And there you go. Come on, man. Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
With forked tongue. He couldn't wait to get out. Hey, man, how much longer we're going to walk around here?
Don't tell me your skin was burning as soon as you walked in. You start.
No.
Anyway,
it's all right. It's a nice building to look at, but I'm not really.
And by the way,
I only went in a couple
listen,
times.
I appreciate everybody the cells, outside in the surrounding areas. The cells. Like, what did we win? That round thing, man. That's the French, the crepe.
The crepes.
The crepe. I appreciate everybody that goes out there and works hard. It was cold. It was a bit cold. But it was absolutely rubbish, man. It was rubbish. That was bad. That was bad news, man. You gotta find a new one. Come on, man. And it was organic too. It's one of them green people crips. So it wasn't good. But anyway, listen. But I appreciate you getting out there and working. That's better than most. Sean, what you got to say, bro?
Right. Obviously, we've got Man United tomorrow, haven't we? And
not good.
I absolutely don't think we'll beat them. I think we'll get a thrashing.
Ooh, a thrashing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what? Based on what?
Well, since Man United sacked their manager, Michael Carragher, took power, that team's playing amazing, aren't they? You know what I mean? They've won the games. Yeah, they might have lost a couple, but the team's changed. They've played for a new manager. And then if you look at I think we're scared to upset a lot of people by sacking Howie. I think he's done a good job.
Howie.
But if you look at likes of Man United, Tottenham, Nottingham Forest, they've all sacked the managers.
And what's happened to Tottenham and Nottingham Forest?
Yeah, but again, one bad decision.
Yeah, but
making a bad decision, getting a new manager doesn't justify keeping a manager.
One ends up with 2 and 3 and 4, as is exactly the case with Forest.
Well, first of all, you would in your the way of thinking, you would call Sean a Mackham or not a proper fan because he wants Eddie Howe out.
I wouldn't do anything of the sort.
So you're just proving that Newcastle people still have a brain and they choose whether to back or not back a manager. Sean here.
Listen, if Sean wants rid of Eddie Howe, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. That's very.
I think Eddie Howe's done a good job. He's done a great job for us, yeah. But he hasn't, like I say, he's got no backup plan. Look what we're playing against Everton. That team looked dreadful. They looked knackered. They were shattered. The confidence has gone. I feel like the confidence has definitely gone in some of the players. And then you've got a World Cup. You've got a World Cup coming this season. If I was an international manager, I wouldn't be picking half of these players to go for my club, for my nation.
Well,
because,
you would or you wouldn't?
I wouldn't. There's only a handful. There's only a handful I would pick. That's it. Because you've got Nick Voldemort. Eddie Howe, the way you're making that player look terrible. He's a German striker, and look what he's doing for the German team. Yeah. But we're playing him as a striker, a winger, a centre midfielder, a number 10. Eddie doesn't know where to stick him because he hasn't got an idea.
That's a bit evident at the moment. That he I don't know what he's doing, and it's not helping the kid. And no matter how you want to sugarcoat it, it's not good. The dude is a striker, man. It's not a.
If you look at it,
by the way,
I can't remember the manager's name. I can't remember the manager's name for Chelsea. Yeah, remember when I think it was I can't remember. Was it a final or a cup game? It was for Chelsea, and the goalkeeper Kepa, is that his name? Refused to come off.
Kepa.
And that manager lost his job, didn't he? He couldn't take that team no further because obviously he lost the dressing room. When Gordon refused to play on the right side of midfield.
Never refused.
That manager's got no control.
Dude, Win. You know what it is, Win. I'm gonna give you a perfect example, right? If I tell you, Win, I need you for the presser tomorrow, and I'm gonna put you there because I think you will be great. I will never tell you those words, but I'm just putting an example. I think you will be great hosting that show with Ian, and then you tell me I don't feel comfortable playing. I don't feel comfortable being in the presser, so I'd rather be at night. And because I choose that you're not good for the team, so I'm just going to put you at night then and not put you on the presser. That's exactly what it is. You are refusing to show up and perform for the channel. You are refusing. That's the same thing. You may not say, you know what, I don't want to be there. I don't want no pressers anymore. But it's still the same thing, dude. Why can't you understand that?
It's not the same thing at all.
Joey Barton, remember? Joey Barton used to play for Newcastle, centre midfielder. He could put on the right midfield, out his position, if you're going to look at it. Footballers in this day and age, I was told when I was a kid, you could play anywhere on the pitch. The ball doesn't change.
Ooh,
might be a bit slow if you're, you know what I mean, if you're a defender, you might not be as quick as a striker, but,
That's you playing on the park on a local Sunday morning. That's not you getting paid hundreds of £1 million a week, for the hundreds of thousands of
yeah, but some of these are like some of them are babies, though, aren't they? Because you can't, if they break a toenail, they're off for 6 weeks. Definitely with Newcastle, aren't we? Look at our injury list. But,
Look,
I just feel... I just feel Eddie Howe's took us, and I feel I can't remember the team we played. I can't pronounce the team that we played in the Champions League, but that was a League 2 team. He should have when we knew we was winning 6-1. He should have brought on some changed around, brought on some young kids, give them a chance. It's like I'm sick of seeing 2 goalkeepers on the bench. Why 2 goalkeepers? Bring a young kid in.
Win. I think this young Geordie. Well, you're young. You sound young. How old are you? Hold on, give me a second. How old are you, Sean?
I'm 37.
Well, you sound younger than that, to be fair. But this young lad, young Geordie, is pushing you against the ropes to like you're struggling right now to get a word in. So I'm going to put a pause here. So I'm going to give you a second to do what you need to say.
I respect Sean's opinion that he thinks Eddie has taken us as far as he can. I disagree with that opinion. I don't think.
So what's changed from us winning the cup?
Yeah, but
because we've been awful since we won that cup. We've been awful since that cup. When we won the Carabao Cup, we have not performed ever since.
And well, you tell me what's changed since then. We haven't got Alexander.
Well, you got rid of Isaac,
anymore.
but one player doesn't make a team.
Well,
you know what I mean? That's your recruitment.
Let's have Ian.
That's Eddie Howe.
Ian has been taking a nap, so he just woke up. So we're gonna have Ian. Ian, go ahead, man.
I can't interrupt when I can't see the map moving on the phone. I agree entirely with what Sean's saying. We've been awful since the tail end of last season. But I mean, you know, was it 6 straight losses in pre-season? And players arriving just as we're kicking off. We didn't have a centre forward until game 4 of the season. It's just really badly prepared. There's been no training. What the signings that we got in the summer have done is give us an even bigger rebuilding job that's required this summer. There was always going to need to be a lot of signings this summer because of contract ending and retirements and etc. But I think Chow's great. Ramsey could be. I hope he plays Voltamada and learns how.
I'm 50-50 with Ramsey.
Forward. But Ramsdale's done now. Alanga is a major disappointment. Wissa to me is the biggest letdown. But man, that's 100.
We got conned on that one.
It's been wasted.
We were desperate. That's what we were. We were desperate that we needed a striker, and Brentford saw you coming.
Yeah, but we put ourselves there. Nobody else put us there. So.
Well,
but it's Eddie Howe. I remember reading that Eddie Howe, it was a backroom staff, head of scout, said such and such players, and Eddie Howe said, "I want my players. I want." You went for Alanga 2 years ago, and you've gone for him again and then got him. We seem to go for who Eddie Howe wants. Yes, fair dues. You can't get what your manager wants, but you know, Alanga was a good player last season for Nottingham Forest, but he's done absolutely rubbish for us.
Yeah, man,
and the season before.
I get wins. I get wins saying Eddie Howe improves the players, and he did. He was fantastic the first 2.5, 3 years. But he hasn't improved any of these new signings. No. He hasn't.
But did Eddie Howe improve Joe Linton? Because remember, if you look under Steve Bruce, didn't Joe Linton go get private training from I can't remember the person's name, but he was getting private training. And I feel when we got a player sent off, Joe Linton fell into the midfield, and that's when Joe Linton unreleased himself, didn't he? That's where I feel.
There you go, man, Sean.
Because remember under Bruce, that's when Joe Linton was getting private training, wasn't he? With a striker, he paid for it.
Hey, Sean, man, he is down. It's over, man. He's down. Win is knackered. You don't have to keep beating on a dead man, man. You just leave him alone, all right? Leave him alone. But you eloquently came on here like a proper Geordie.
Is never knackered.
Like a proper Geordie to have your piece. And, I appreciate that very much. And by the way, you don't call us enough, man. How man? You gotta
take
call
the
us.
argument to bits, piece by piece.
No, you can't, because all you say is because I think so. And no.
So here's one for you before I let you go.
There you go.
When do you think Eddie Howe should be sacked or what? Because I feel if he gets beat by Sunderland, because he's not going to win against Man United, he ain't going to win against Man City. I don't think he'll beat Barca.
Well,
and just supposing he does,
and then you got Sunderland.
And just supposing he does.
But the thing, Wayne, is every fan has more to say we will not win those games than to do the opposite. There's more base to be negative, unfortunately, than be positive because of how we've been this season. So you can't blame fans for not having trust at this point in time.
Blaming fans for not having trust.
So
the last time I was on the show, I came on against Sunderland, and I said we won't beat Sunderland, and I'll stand by it this time.
That's the last time you called.
Doing the double on you.
Shame on you, man. That's the last time you called. Shame on you.
I think so. I've been busy. I've been quite busy.
You're not busy at night at 10 p.m. I'm telling
you. must be a secret Macam where you came on the last time.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh no, I've got some personal matters.
I've told you, Sean. I've told you he was going to call you a Macam because you disagree with him. There you go. I told you, man.
But that's only because he's just turned round and said the last time he was on was when Sunday.
And by the way,
I came on the show and ranted how rubbish we were. There was no ambition in a derby. We backed out of challenges that we shouldn't have. You know what I mean? It's, you know,
if you want an argument,
it wasn't
a subject.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, you're not busy at 9:30 p.m. I'm telling you, you're home. Especially on the midweek, so stop lying. You can be calling in, but it's okay. You know,
I'll start calling in more.
There you go. You got to do it. But we need these Geordies. We need Geordies to have their say. You know, this is, for example, first of all, Steve agreed with me that Gordon didn't want to play on the left and Eddie Howe on the right, and Eddie Howe didn't have the bollocks to not take him to put him on the right. But he also says that we need Geordies, not plastic Yanks, trying to cause division for clicks and likes. I don't cause no division for clicks and likes. You're a Geordie. You call. I didn't set up Sean to call in and go against Win. Win is just diluted. It's just the way it is. I don't have to do any of that work. People will call in.
I just see it as
exactly. No,
if you're going to refuse to play, or you can't play on that wing, that means that manager doesn't have. He's got no control of that changing room. Nothing. When a player's refusing to play where he wants to play. So what's the difference between playing on the right midfield, right forward, as a striker?
Oh man,
he's
Sean,
never refused to play.
He's on life support, man. Leave him alone. Anyway, Sean, thank you very much for calling us, mate. Have a good night. Have a good night.
Anyway, you sick it. Thank you.
See you, Sean. Ta-ra, man.
Oh man, sorry, Win. I wanted to end the call sooner, man, but you know he just kept going and going, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the physical and mental thrashing you just took on Sean's hands, man. I apologize about that.
You may say that I couldn't possibly comment.
But keep calling, folks, and do the same thing, please. I'll let you do it. 0191-916-8864. I wish Steve would call and have the cojones to talk to me face to face and say what he wants to say. Which he's all over the place anyway. You know, he agrees, disagrees. But anyway, some people just, it is what it is. That's the way they function. So it looks like there's a little striker going around that, what's it, Ollie Watkins? Surely it's not Ollie Watkins. Newcastle being rumored with Ollie Watkins because Nick Voltemada might be going back to Germany. Listen, I think that's a downgrade. You can't have no Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins wins age at this point. It could have worked 2 years ago or maybe last year. To be fair, in the summer, he was heavily linked. So he was, he didn't age that much since then. But I think it would definitely be a downgrade if we're going to switch him because you want a proper center forward. Come on, Ian. We're sensible fans here, man. We can't allow this nonsense to happen, man.
We must have... We've got some centre forwards. They just haven't been coached. They're not being played in the right position. We've not set the team up to be able to get the best out of them. That's why they're not performing. They haven't suddenly lost all of the skill that made us pay 69 million for Voltemada. They just put him in the wrong team. It's like putting a sprinter in a 5,000 meter race and wondering why he's not performing as well as he did when he was sprinting. Got the wrong environment to be able to thrive. I think that could be fixed by a different formation, different instructions. I think Voltemada needs a number 10 behind him to link up with him. That could be Ramsey. That could be Willock even. It could be Miley when he comes back. Needs a twin pivot at the back to be secure and a roving attacking number 10 to follow Voltemada around and be intricate and clever. And it needs the wingers to be on the move all of the time to run into the spaces that they make.
Wow. I could never agree with a comment more than... I couldn't agree with a comment more than this from Sean, which he's a gamer, by the way, if you didn't know Sean is. I hate the thought of Voltemada going back. It feels like we failed him, not him failing us. I mean, it could be more accurate because...
It's a great comment, yeah.
I mean, it would be. It would be. The kid is just a kid, man. He's not, and with a great talent like that at such a young age, unique talent I mean, it just would be just criminal. It would be Newcastle's one of the worst decisions ever. Because people will pick up on him, and well, I mean, just the fact they go to Bayern Munich, they're not idiots. I mean, why would they want somebody that can't play a center forward to be a center forward? Because he can do the same role that they see the elder, English elder now, Kane. So why wouldn't they? You know what I mean? And we're over here turning up our nose. That's why I tell Ian, I've said this before. I'm just gonna act that Win is not there, and then me just me and you, and we Newcastle United fans, we turn our nose up on everything, right? We want it all, but we're not flexible. We complain about not having money, but we want to turn our nose up on a great talent like Voltemata. Just for one sake of one example, it's incredible. We don't have any money to spend, so but we still don't look at loans. We don't look at overseas in South America. We don't do nothing. We just want it all. We want Prem proven, but we want to pay cheap for him. So it's just weird, man. It's just weird.
It's strange.
Yeah.
Just to answer your question about Harry Kane and Bayern Munich, if Voltemata had been playing for Bayern Munich this season, would he had 45 goals?
I don't think he's had 45 goals either way, but where's the 45 goals come from?
That's what Kane scored this season.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Voltemata.
Would Voltemata have scored 45 goals?
I don't know. He scored a lot of goals. That's all they do, just feed him the ball. They would just feed him the ball with proper wingers that he plays with in Germany. And it's honky-dory. So it would be. Leroy Sané, we should have signed him a long time ago. Well,
let's find out if they buy him.
But we don't want that. That's what I'm saying.
If they put an offer in, we'll sell him.
Well, that's sad.
That's blasphemy. Voltemata will want to go.
That's blasphemy, man.
It does feel like we failed him. I think he was doing all right, wasn't he? He was overachieving with the few chances that he got. Was it his first 6 shots actually went in?
Well, 6 shots, and 6 shots, 5 goals.
And then Wissa was
and then 3 and 23.
Fit. And when we started playing Wissa and Voltemata had to start a few games on the bench, he's just never come back from it. He's never come back from it. To the point now that Eddie knows he's got to play a £69 million player, so he's crowbarred him into midfield on the excuse that Bruno's not there, so we need somebody creative. And Voltemata's so good, he can actually do a job there against weaker teams, against a Tottenham or against a Karabakh. But I think he was exposed that he's not robust enough for it. He's no Joe Linton when you see what he's like trying to get after the Everton midfield. Credit to Voltemata for sticking at it.
It's just not his position. It's just not his position. Just like if you put Joe Linton as a right wing, he's going to be rubbish. So we can't keep doing that. We can't keep doing that. Now, just to update people on the situation as far as injuries is concerned, Livramento still on the road back. Defensive reinforcements remain on the horizon. Tino Livramento still not ready to feature this weekend, let alone tomorrow. And as far as Ramsey, he should be good. Still no explanation of what happened, though. What was the explanation? I mean, what was?
I think he must have had a bad curry the night before.
There's the same sickness bug that Voltemata's afflicted with now.
Well, Voltemata, that's right.
Ramsey had. So you don't know who else.
There's a bug going around.
Yeah. Voltemata's fitness is in doubt and Ramsey back in contention. Howe faces key decisions ahead of the Manchester United match. The uncertainty around Voltemata would see the manager adjust his attacking setup, while Ramsey's return gives Newcastle more control and creativity through the center at the park. By the way, you can enjoy more articles and stuff. We got now a lot of writers that are putting up stuff on the website, so join us for that one. I mean, they're on the website, NUFCTalkRadio.com. Go there, or NUFCTalkTV.com, all the same place, and enjoy new articles, new news, and opinion pieces there. So it's got good stuff going on. So check it out. Check out the website, of course. Paul Merson, unfortunately, gets very confused about Newcastle United yet again. He's been quoted saying last season they had a good combination between Sven Botman and Fabian Schär at the back. They are getting a bit exposed this time around with Byrne in there. Don't get me wrong, I like Byrne, but he's a good player, but they are not they're not the team from last season, he says. So I mean, he's not saying anything that's, we clearly not the team that we were last season. He's thinking that Newcastle are still a threat at home. They need their midfield three to start firing if they want to hurt Manchester United in St. James's Park. He expects an entertaining 2-2 draw, Paul Merson. So, well, I mean...
Well, we're not going to have one midfield three firing, well, that's for sure.
Well, Burnley's not going to be there, clearly.
Exactly.
But with Ramsey, Tonali, and Joe Linton, I like my chances. I think that's a pretty good midfield. I think the midfield is not the problem.
It's
I
the
think
best
it's just...
we've got. It's not as good as Bruno.
Well, I could agree with that, but it's not rubbish either. Nowhere near that. So it's actually a pretty good midfield that should do fine, that should do well. So, I mean,
I think he's
I
harsh
don't know
criticising Dan Burn as well, by the way. Dan Burn is a left back, a liability. As a centre back, he's England. He's
done
England's
well.
centre back. I think he's fantastic. He's like a brick.
Well, I wouldn't
wall.
necessarily use that argument, but I mean, because he doesn't play for England really that much. However, I will agree with you that I would play him over Botman right now, because I don't think Botman is reliable, and I don't think Byrne has done anything wrong when playing a center back. I mean, the Byrne situation, I've criticized him many times, Ian, on the left, but at some point you got to criticize who puts him there. It's like all this criticism that Voltemata gets. He didn't woke up and say, I want to be Pirlo now. He's told to be there. So what's he going to say? I don't want to play? Okay, well, that's an option. But, I mean, go on, finish what you were going to say. I don't think it's their fault.
No, I think Byrne as a centre back is a great option, and I think he's enhanced by having Chow, who has a little bit of extra pace to cover any deficiencies there. Chow faster than Schär or Botman as well, so I like the centre back pairing. I think that's our best choice at the moment. I don't know about Trips though. Who's he going to have coming down at him? Is it either going to be Cunha running at him or Mbeumo running at him?
I'm not sure we got many
both
options
of
either,
them.
to be honest.
And that's harsh. Yeah, I know. It's tough. It's tough. To be fair to Trippier, he has raised his game. I didn't see the Everton match. I was busy, so I don't know how he played there. I know he got criticised on it. He looked ropey when he came back in, but I think Howe said that Trippier wants the rhythm of regular football, and he does seem to be playing better the more games he plays. So maybe those old legs are not tiring any quicker. He's just not as fast as moving as they used to be. So, Trippier and Hall, that's a good defence. I think if they play how they can play, we can beat Manchester United. It's just that they can be so bloody disappointing when you're least expecting them to, that I've kind of given up hope that they will get back to that.
It's confidence, and as I say, I'm just hoping that under the lights, with a crowd behind them, as there will be tomorrow night, that'll just give them the boost that they need.
I hope you're right, Wayne. I hope because I'm not.
There you go. And just some pieces of news there that Sunderland and Newcastle are battling. Newcastle expecting that they will beat Sunderland for the signing of Marco Senesi, Argentinian player, according to a report from a report, but sources have told Team Talk the name of the Spanish club that the Bournemouth defender is keen on a move to. So, I mean, listen, if it's according to Graham Bailey, and I mean, I guess depends on what. I mean, if Barcelona is interested, as I've seen here, then obviously we're knackered. So
we are knackered.
Just simple as that. But I mean, if it's between Sunderland and us, I like my chances. Good player, Marco Senesi, Argentinian, played at San Lorenzo early in the 2016s, if I'm not mistaken. And he's not young either, by the way. He plays for Argentina as well, center back. So good talent, with talent. I wouldn't be opposed to somebody like that. playing at Bournemouth now.
The old Bournemouth connection.
So there you go. He's 22.
Argentinian, you could do a lot worse to replace Pope for the next 2 years with Martinez from Villa.
Oh my gosh, yeah, but those antics, man, they wouldn't be against us. I don't know. He'll be a proper instigator, to say the least. But
we get our S-housery back, that's for sure.
Oh my God, yeah, that's some criminal stuff, man. Apparently, the young lad Vaktan Salia has been doing good. Marked his first appearance for Newcastle's under 21 with a goal in a 2-1 friendly against Northern Ireland under 19. So we shall see if he is up to speed. I guess when it comes to a call up potentially for the first team, but that's not going to be anytime soon. So we don't look there, to say the least. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
Have you heard how, talking about missing wingers, have you heard about how our Spanish wonder kid, Cordero, whose loan went wrong and then got loaned back out to another Spanish team, how's he doing? Because
no idea.
Everything around him sounded good. That could save a big fee if he could come in and pick up one of the wing places. It could be Barnes's understudy on the left and sell Gordon. Puts us well ahead in terms of building the rest of the team.
Yeah.
How he's doing.
He's played 9 matches for Cadiz this season. No goals, no assists, 2 yellow cards.
For Cadiz, not Cadiz.
Perfect.
But anyway, there you go. Let's go with some chats out there, ladies and gents. Tony, you've been all hypnotized to mass blame Pope, yet his last mistake that cost us was Marseille. Well, not really, man. Last mistake was literally the last game. Come on, Tony. You're not on the mighty win camp, are you? You didn't mention that when you called. Liverpool game was already dead. Davey says, we totally dominated Everton second half. All stats massively in our favor, but they won with a goal off the lads behind. You would think we are getting stuffed every game. The Toon back on track tomorrow. Wow, okay. Well, Davey, there you go.
Come on.
Tim there says, it's a bit of both. Walter hasn't done a great at times. Other times he's done brilliantly. Ultimately, he should be playing with another striker, in my opinion. It's up to whether he'd sacrifice center midfielder. These are big old comments.
That's
here.
The dilemma.
There we go. This one is in the Lee. We lose to them again this month. There will be riots again. I'm assuming he's talking about the Mackhams. RJ Fox, do the lads train under the lights? Bad win. Exactly, man. The electrical work, man. The electrician of the St. James's Park needs to be on a 300K wages. Yeah, man, it's incredible. Here we go again. We got beat off Liverpool by a 16-year-old scoring the winning goal. I guarantee that will happen. That will never happen with Eddie as a manager, bringing on youth. On the other end, yeah. Well, you got enough to back that opinion. That's for sure. Gavin Fuller, we probably would have beat Barca and Liverpool if it wasn't for Gordon getting sent off and missing sitters. We could have won if he was not playing. That's true as well.
Valid argument.
Well, I mean, we don't know if we would have won, but he certainly got ejected and he certainly missed sitters. Kim Pope should be demoted. Gavin Fuller, Pope got injured, not dropped. Exactly. Here we go again. It says 4-2-3-1 with Ramsey in the 10. Joe Linton and Tonali covering. Get some play through the middle because our wingers are dross at creating chances. Says here we go again. Lee, we are now points of Europe Conference now. Never mind Champions League, European Conference League. Well, yeah, we're not making Champions League. Just letting you know, man. We're knackered as far as Champions League is concerned. So, I mean, you can still do it based on numbers.
Points off.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Whatever that means. Here we go again. Murphy.
On Liverpool.
Murphy has been rubbish. Murphy has been rubbish this season, but got twice as many chance creations than anyone in the squad. Trippier above Gordon in big chances created is shocking. Also, Steve, he said he preferred the left and Eddie didn't have the you know what to put him on the right. Well, there you go. Win. War Captain Bruno. Nobody said Gordon refused. And in fact, he's played on the right quite a bit, switching over. Yeah, right. But that's not the same, man. That is not this. I tell you what, some winning War Captain Bruno, covering the sun with one finger, man.
Gordon has never refused to play on the right. Eddie Howe, his own words, he doesn't enjoy playing on the right. So it's my decision to play him on the left because I think that's better for the team.
Which is refusing. Anyway, that's simple. It's just pretty much refusing in a kind way. David Spence, it's a shame for Nick Waltemada. He gets a lot of criticism of the media. There's nothing wrong with him. Eddie Howe needs to find the right place to put Nick on the pitch. He's very talented. And Travoy there, Mitchell was correct. Transfer strategy not fit for purpose. If we didn't get rid of Mitchell, Eddie would have gone by now. There you go. And that, ladies and gents, is the show. Go on, Ian. Sorry.
I was just going to say one thing about the transfer strategy, which really, really annoyed me. Right at the start of the last transfer window in the summer, Trafford was coming, wasn't it? It was a done deal. So Howe knew Pope needed to be replaced in June last year. And Trafford's coming. Suddenly he's not. But there's no plan B. There's no backup. That Liverpool goalkeeper, Kelleher, went for 10 million somewhere. He would have been a step up. I just think that shows that eye off the ball, no backup on that. But that happened to us so many times, and then we started looking ridiculous by chasing after every striker who'd already decided they were going to a top 6 club.
There you go.
That window was a disaster.
Danka for the show. There you go. Thank you very much, all one and all. We will see you tomorrow, match day. Join us for the build-up, the match commentary, and everything else in between live here on NUFC Talk TV. And if you can't watch, live on radio on NUFCTalkRadio.com, on DAB in Newcastle and Gateshead. We will see you on the next one, folks. How are the lads?
Away the lads.